And Grizzlies warming up, stretching out, getting ready. Again, big game here. A very beautiful scenic route, to say the least, coming up here in Marble Falls. Again, Drew McGuire, #1 quarterback in the district on yards, touchdowns, completions, attempts, you name it, he's got it. Last week, 3 touchdowns, all in the second half. EJ, he's multiple touchdown passes in the last 5 games. He's looking to keep that streak alive as well. They'll ride their big horse, Julian Morris, 79 carries on the year, 561 yards. He's got 5 rushing touchdowns, 2 100-yard games. And he's got some long rushes on the season as well. He's got a 58-yarder, he's got a 63-yarder, he's got a 42-yarder, he's also got a 55-yarder. So when that big boy gets out in space, he runs, running people over. Of course, Jarvis Henderson, 20 catches on the year, 378. I thought he had some big catches last week, even though he had 2. Both of them got them in the red zone, got some things going. He's been great for them as well.
The key for Glenn tonight is going to be trying to stop the offense, which is the strong point of this Marble Falls team. The defense leaves little to be desired, but on the offensive side of the ball, you're going to see 2 quarterbacks mix in. The starter, mainly Andrew Stripling, has 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on the season, over 1,000 yards though. 14.5 yards of completion, and on the ground is going to be all Cooper Wilson. Cooper Wilson's averaging 5.1 a clip, 396 yards, and he has 5 touchdowns for himself. His running mate on the ground is going to be Hayden Wells. He has 214 yards on the ground with 3 touchdowns. He's averaging 30.6 yards a game. Brock Linder, their main offensive weapon, he's going to have he has 438 coming into this game. 2 touchdowns, is averaging over 60 yards a game. That is going to be the big challenge for this secondary tonight, trying to keep him up. And his partner on the outside is going to be Andrew Rodriguez, 243 yards. He is averaging 48.6 yards a game. The defense is going to be tested through the air, and that's going to be guys like Cody Bagwell and Dom Sullivan. Dom Sullivan we're going to hear on the pregame show here on the Dreamfinders Homes pregame show. We'll also be able to talk to Coach Shanefield. It's going to big show we have planned for you here in beautiful Marble Falls, Texas. We're about 35 minutes away from game time.
I'm wondering though, because when the coach, did you see this when he sent this to me? I was looking for him too. He put Rodriguez on there. I'm surprised. What was the last game he played? Yeah, I was just wondering why the coach listed him. And then they always do this. They put the main star as the backup.
Glenn coming off a improbable comeback against the Eastview Patriots last week, 35-32. Drew McGuire had 3 second-half touchdowns, including 2 of those going to Sam Martin, who has 6 on the year.
He leads his teams. He did 5 straight games with a touchdown pass. 2 catches last week, both touchdowns. That's efficiency, if you ask me. Put that in that flex option on your fantasy team. Hey, that's a lot of points.
Yeah, one guy we haven't seen get going in the last couple of weeks is Nate Hatter, the tight end.
Yeah, he's helping him out, but he's opening up the running lanes, and that's his job. He knows that. It's kind of like on and off, on and off. So this might be his on game. He was off at Elgin, and he came on against Cedar Creek with 2 touchdowns. And he was off last week, so this might be second down and goal from the 6-yard line. 24-14, Grizzlies trail. Down 10, 146 left to go in the third quarter. Snap, McGuire fakes the handoff, rolls, hits the end zone, he's got one again for another touchdown, a 6-yard touchdown for Sam Martin, and the Grizzlies are within 4, 24-20, 139 left to go in the third quarter. Sam Martin, second touchdown in the quarter. McGuire back to pass. He's looking, he's got time to look across the middle field. He's got Corey Thompson at the 40, at the 35, 25, 20, 50, 10, 5, touchdown! Corey Thompson, 59 yards, and the Grizzlies take a 27-24 lead. What a play by Corey Thompson!
Corey Thompson, you've missed in the last couple of weeks. You've missed that juice. You've missed that spark. Gets behind the defense, all steam ahead, going for Corey Thompson, gets in the end zone, and the Grizzlies are back on top.
Head Austin Pets Alive, the mission is to promote and provide the resources, education, and programs needed to eliminate the killing of companion animals. That means more happy pets joining more happy families every single day. In fact, Austin Pets Alive has saved more than 25,000 dogs and cats since 2008, and you can help. Adopt a new family member, help out with a donation, or roll up your sleeves and volunteer. If you have love, time, or money to spare, and we all have at least one of those, you are needed. Visit AustinPetsAlive.com to get started. Austin Pets Alive, helping people help pets.
Socialize with us.
You don't have what they call the social skills.
On Twitter at KMax Sports, or catch us on Facebook. Search KMax Sports. Just another way KMax Sports is bringing your teams to you.
KMax Sports is the largest online broadcast company in Central Texas. How large is that? Well, think of the Congress Avenue Bridge Bat Colony.
Okay, folks, here they come. They're flying out from under the bridge. They appear to be Louisville Sweater, and they're falling. Oh, humanity!
As God is my witness, I thought bats could fly. Bringing your teams to you since 2003 without dropping the ball or the bat. We are KMax Sport.
All right, we're now joined by cornerback Dom Sullivan as we get ready for the matchup with the Marble Falls Mustangs. Dom, you came up from JV. You've had an immediate impact, a couple of big interceptions. To 14, Grizzlies trail down 10, 146 left to go in the third quarter. Snap, McGuire fakes the handoff, rolls, hits the end zone, he's got to get for another touchdown, a 6-yard touchdown for Sam Martin, and the Grizzlies are within 4, 24-20, 139 left to go in the third quarter. Sam Martin, second touchdown in the quarter. McGuire back to pass. He's got time to look across the middle field. He's got Corey Thompson at the 40, at the 35, 25, 20, 50, touchdown! Corey Thompson, 59 yards, and the Grizzlies take a 27-24 lead. What a play by Corey Thompson!
Corey Thompson, you've missed in the last couple of weeks. You've missed that juice. You've missed that spark. Gets behind the defense, all steam ahead, going for Corey Thompson, gets in the end zone, and the Grizzlies are back on top.
All right, those are a couple of highlights from our Week 7 victory against the Eastview Patriots, a come-from-behind victory. Alex Peta, E.J. Sanchez, Randy Fry with you, week number 8 here in Marble Falls, Texas, as the Glen Grizzlies, coming off their 5-game winning streak, a very impressive win last week, get ready to take on the Marble Falls Mustangs. We're on the road, E.J., week 8. Glenn with an opportunity to clinch a playoff berth with a win today, but again, as we open the show with the highlights from last week, how you doing? Just got my voice back this morning, just in time for this game.
Yeah, I mean, that game last week was just improbable. I mean, everybody was going off about it. You saw the Statesman, you saw everybody going crazy. Glenn finally starting to get some love from the community. People are starting to finally realize what this team can do, and it was a lot of fun to watch. And now, got to turn the page to this week against the district opponent.
Absolutely. So you're joining us now on the Dreamfinder Homes pre-game show. Just a lot to get into today. We're going to have Dom Sullivan joining us. He had a big interception in the game. He's got 2 so far on the season. We were able to talk to Julian Morris, bell cow back, 18 carries, 123 yards. He was able to clinch it for the Grizzlies last week. And, of course, as always, we got Coach Shainfeld. He's going to talk to us about a couple of things. And we're going to also have a halftime message with him as well, just talking about the season so far, how hard they've been working. So definitely stay tuned for that. A lot to get into, but again, we want to recap the game last week against Eastview to start. We went into halftime, EJ, 17-7 Eastview. They came out on top, but a lot of people are going to forget that big interception by Dom Sullivan. Eastview scored easily on the first drive. They come marching right down the field on the second drive. 3rd and goal, he's coming up with an interception in the end zone. Huge play. Who even knows where the game goes if they're down 14-0?
Yeah, Zion Hester at that point was just unstoppable. I mean, he was hitting holes easy as the offensive line was rolling, and the Glen defense was just on the field for a long time. Not necessarily that nobody was doing their job, but when you're on the field for that long, it's very hard to start getting in a tempo and start getting some pressure on Colson, which they weren't able to do until the second half. Dom Sullivan probably made the play of that game, or Jamal Johnson. But two guys who started off this season not very high up on the depth chart, but again, that next man mentality that we keep talking about. Dom Sullivan came up with probably the play of that game.
Absolutely. They just have, we talk about it, all the depth that these boys have. You know, at the beginning of the year, I felt like we were talking about the front line a lot. We gave the linebackers a lot of love. Creel and Pollock, they still do their job. Cervantes and Jamal Johnson, Keegan Moore. We've seen Bryson Hunter. Everybody contributing. But again, it's the secondary. Cody Bagwell had that huge interception against Elgin. Noah Holmes, 2 interceptions against Cedar Creek. Townsley, he's everywhere all the time, even on special teams.
Fourth down stop.
This is a great bunch on defense. And they were able to get some things done in the second half to stop Zion Hester because it was 17-7, as I mentioned, going into half. They score again quickly. It's 24-7. 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. I looked at you, and I even told Coach Shainfeld when we spoke off air, I said, I kind of looked at E.J. Sanchez. I said, we're gonna find out about this team, and we're going to find out about them right now. Defense got some stops, got the things going. Drew McGuire lit the world on fire. 3 touchdowns, none bigger than the big play. After Lamont Slade on sportsmanlike conduct penalty, pushing them back to their 41-yard line after a first down by Jarvis Henderson, and then 59 yards later, he's in the end zone. They take the lead, then they score again, and then Slade scores, and it was just tight. It went all the way down to the last second, but a tremendous win, a huge character win. I mean, that's the type of win that can really set the tone for your season.
I have to give you credit when it comes to the player that we talked about going into the second half. I asked you on air, who is the guy that has to get going in order for this offense to start moving the ball and to give this team a chance? And usually you go to a skill position, maybe a running back or wide receiver. You went to the captain. You went to the quarterback, Drew McGuire. And if you said, if he doesn't get hot right now, this team is going to have a really hard time coming back. And he got hot. He never didn't seem like he was flappable, really. He just stayed calm the entire time. He was ready, and he came out, and he delivered.
We want to talk to Coach Shainfeld. He joined us, and we want to talk about what did he think about the comeback and everything that was going on there. Let's check out Coach Shainfeld on that game. Well, actually, sorry, Coach Shainfeld on Dom Sullivan. Let's see what he had to say there. I want to start. Dom Sullivan, you're down 7-0. They're driving. A goal line interception. Just talk to me about what he's doing, because to me that was a very critical point in the game that a lot of people are going to forget early on.
Absolutely critical play in the game. Dom's interception was huge toward doing that, because we go down 14-0 right away. At that point, that's a tough hole to climb out of. You know, can't say enough about Dom, because Dom started out the year on the junior varsity. As a freshman and junior varsity player, Dom played mostly offense for us because we needed him there, knowing that whenever the time came, at some point, Dom was going to be on varsity, either latter part of his sophomore year or his junior year, and probably honestly going to play defense for us simply because he's a real good cover corner, and he's a great athlete, and he's a very humble and coachable kid, and that's probably the best part about him. But we needed him after that became pretty apparent after the McNeil game that we in the McCallum game. You know, we needed a guy that could help us out at corner through some injuries and just some weaknesses that we needed to address. So the biggest adjustment for him was just, you know, playing against varsity competition. But by no means did we expect that he was not going to be able to do the job once he got settled in, and that he's had a couple interceptions the last couple of weeks, and you know, that one the other night was just huge. And am I surprised? No, because that guy can play. I mean, he's just young and has gotten trial by fire, and you know, he's our guy at that position right now. So huge play, huge turning point in the game. Not so much that it got us on the right side of momentum offensively, because we still struggled after that, but holding them to one fewer scores, that's pretty big.
And to Coach Shanefield, talking about that interception that we mentioned was a big part of the game that gets lost in the shuffle sometimes because we think about the comeback, we think about the offense. But again, maybe they don't even get to that point if they go up 14-0. Who knows what happens there? But they were able to fight back, push through. But Dom Sullivan, again, second interception is being called up from JV, and he's stepping right up.
Yeah, there were a ton of plays in that game that you can forget about. There's a ton of plays that you can remember, plays that we'll be talking about for years to come. But another play that I think that wasn't given the credit as much at the time was Townsley's stop on 4th down. He got off the edge. I mean, Zion Hester was averaging about 4 or 5 yards a clip to that point.
Yep.
It seemed like 9 to 10 at that point in the game. They started slowing him down, but in the 4th down, if they convert on that, Eastview has a chance to tie it up, and it makes it so much harder, so much more pressure on Drew McGuire at the end of the half to try to score. Townsley gets off the edge. They don't pick it up. Short field for them to work with. Offense was able to put it away.
Got a complete game victory. We talked about the defense. Let's talk to Coach Shanefield about the game-changing play that led to that moment. What was the play that they drew up for Corey Thompson? How did they get going after that?
The timing was good. The protection was good. Drew saw it really well. It wasn't a cloudy look over the middle. He hit him in stride. And if you hit that guy in stride and he doesn't have to make a cut right away and he doesn't have to break a tackle right away, then you ain't going to catch him. Yeah. So, and that's exactly what happened. I did feel like that right there broke their back, though. I really did. I knew they were going to continue to fight. Now, obviously, it went down to the last play. But I felt some air go out of their balloon, I think, and that having that big play right there was it allowed us later in the game in the fourth quarter to just, with a lead, just grind the clock some.
It looked like he was just, in the way that, like you mentioned, the way that the play is designed, hey, you get a big gain and you go from there, and that's what we thought. I mean, I was almost paused within my call, but then he just kept on going.
Yep.
And it seemed like he got into that fifth gear when he got about the 25-yard line and got all the way in, and I mean, I almost lost my voice in the booth, but just quickly on just what's going through your mind when you see him break free?
I was probably saying some things I shouldn't say on the radio or on the sideline, but I was running not nearly as fast as Corin, but I was running up the sideline too, a little bit out of breath because I probably sprinted a good 60 yards trailing that play because, that was just, that was high and low within 20 seconds because love Lamont. He plays his tail off, and
yep.
Lamont's been another OG for us here from that first day, and he's played extremely intensely, both blocking and running the football from the fullback position all year. And he just let his emotions get the better of him on that play. That guy, it's always the second guy.
Yep.
In some of that extracurricular stuff that gets the flag, and that was the case for Lamont. And as Lamont comes off the field after getting that 15-yard penalty that negated, I think, a first down, if I remember correctly, I'm like, I wasn't even mad at, I didn't lose my temper with him. I'm just like, really, dude? I mean, come on. I know you're better than that. I know you're smarter than that. It was just a mistake, and
yep.
It's one that, as a player, I made myself. And so, the thing that I think the kids know about us as coaches is we're going to correct mistakes, and then we got to move on.
Yep.
So we're not going to dwell and just jump up and down and holler and scream on that one because bottom line is within the next 25 seconds, I got to call another play.
Yeah.
And I can't worry about the last one. We got to worry about the next one. That's the most important play ever is the next one.
And that's Coach Shanefield talking about that game-changing play, how they drew it up, how it happened, and obviously, hopefully, he's gotten some rest. He didn't tear a hamstring or anything. I got to run down that sideline chasing after that play because no one was going to catch Corin Thompson, not even Coach Shanefield.
Yeah, Thompson, I mean, I saw it, you hear me on the playback, full steam ahead the entire way, and from up here, it looked like he caught the slant and he was about to go out of bounds. It was going to be a good field position. It was going to be a big gain. But he turned it into that fifth gear, like you said in an interview with Coach Shanefield. There was nobody that was going to catch him. And it seemed like he found that extra burst that we haven't really seen. I mean, the dude's a fast guy. We've seen that multiple times throughout the season.
Yep.
But it seemed like he went to another level on that play, especially when they needed it.
Absolutely. So one more point we want to talk to with Coach Shanefield. Then we're going to take a break. We're going to come back with Dom Sullivan. We're going to come back with Julian Morris and some other stuff to get ready for this game against Marble Falls. But the other Coach Shanefield that we wanted to talk about was how was the defense able to stop? How were they able to stop Zion Hester? Right, because he was going bonkers in the first half. Had about 140 yards on the ground. How were they able to stop him?
We just defensively. We just didn't have as many busts, to be quite honestly. You know, defense is always all about controlling gaps in the run game, and you need a guy in every gap. That can be accomplished just by playing it straight. That can be accomplished by stunting and slanting and blitzing linebackers, but at the end of the process, at the at the point of attack, if you don't have every gap filled, he's a really special player, and he's a very good high school running back, and very quick, 0 to 60 in a hurry. If you don't have that gap integrity and have something covered up, he's gonna see it. We were just cleaner playing wise in the second half, but hats off to the defense. Regardless, I mean we knew that he and 22 the outstanding receiver, we knew they were going to have their place. We talked about that before the game. They're too good to not have plays. Doesn't matter how well we play, they're going to have some positives happen for them because they are great high school football players. And it's like the old ESPN phrase, you can't stop them, you can only hope to contain them. I mean, that when you run up against a couple of great athletes like that, that's I'm not saying you just give it up and you just resign yourself to it's going to be a long night. That's not what I mean. I mean, there's things we can do and did, obviously, but you can't get just freaked out because he has a long run every now and then, because he's going to have them, because he's good. Just like we got a few guys that are going to have theirs as well. So I think we just played cleaner, and to the credit of the defense, they kept us within range.
Jamal Johnson, I mean, that was, again, it seems like every week there's a new guy stepping up on this defense, and he's been stepping up a lot the last couple of weeks, but I thought him, and, I know Petey got the MVP for defense, but I thought Jamal played a really good game and getting to those gaps, as you mentioned.
Here's the thing about Jamal. Jamal's one of those OGs that was there the first day that I went over to Rouse High School when our seniors were freshmen, and before this building ever opened, they didn't know who the heck I was, and I met the kids that would become Glenn High School students and Glenn High School football players, and Jamal was one of the first guys I noticed in that group of about 20 some odd kids, because he's always very eager. He's always got a huge smile on his face. Jamal, without question, is one of our hardest working kids that we've ever had in the program. And he's one of our smartest kids, and he does great things in the classroom. He's a great character young man. He's always worked hard. Jamal's not our best athlete, and he wouldn't be embarrassed to hear me say that, and he wouldn't be upset with me. But Jamal is a very, very, very good high school football player. And what's special about a guy like Jamal and what he can do on the field is that's everything he accomplishes on the field has been hard-earned because he works very, very hard. He deserves that. So when he gets an interception and he plays solid, Jamal has solid games because he does exactly what he's coached to do. He plays technique, and it's not like he's a terrible athlete. Jamal's a great track guy. He's got good speed, and that's not what I'm saying at all. He's not a phenomenal athletic football player. He's an extremely good high school football player, bordering on great, because he does what he's supposed to do, and he's very, very smart.
And great words. I mean, you can't get a better glowing review from your head coach than that. Again, doing your job, great technique, very smart. He's a track star, so I would argue he is a pretty good athlete, but I can understand what he's saying for. Again, you have some physical specimens on this team, as Nate Hatter and Petey Cervantes and Noah Holmes and Alec Townsley, some big boys. They got a guy on JV that's even bigger than Noah Holmes, and I'm almost upset why he's not on the varsity team yet, but he'll be there next year for them. But just a great job by the defense to stop Hester and Johnson and Cervantes, hitting those guys, making plays.
Yeah, I mean, this whole next man up mentality that we're going to keep talking about and that we've talked about in prior weeks. We're going to beat the drum on this one, so I apologize if you guys aren't enjoying hearing about it. But I mean, Jamal Johnson is a guy that was on the depth chart at the beginning of the season, but a guy we really didn't focus on. I mean, we heard a lot about Townsley and Pollock and Creel and Holmes, and those guys are deserving. I'm not saying they aren't, but Jamal Johnson's a guy that I've become a huge fan of over the last 2 or 3 weeks, because it just seems like every single time when the defense is in need of a play, Jamal Johnson's the first one there. Yep. And I really love what Coach Shanefield said about him, is that even if he isn't the greatest athlete, dude's smart. Every single time, you will never see Jamal Johnson in a blown coverage. You'll never see him involved with that. You'll never see him scrambling to get back to the other side of the field, because he's always where he needs to be. And that's what's made me such a big fan of Jamal Johnson thus far.
Absolutely. So we got to talk to the coach. We're going to talk to the players. Get ready for Marble Falls. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Grizzlies Football on the K-Max Sports Vype Media Network.
This is Kevin McAdams. You know, from the McAdams Company Creative. We love to make commercials. Let us make yours. Yep, that's me. While my voice is amazing and does sound wonderful, I've been given to understand that every once in a while, y'all might want to hear somebody different. So I went out and recruited some guys. So first, I'd like to introduce Blake.
Good afternoon. My name's Blake Herrera, and my voice will make you feel safe on an airplane.
This guy over here, this is Steve.
Hi, I'm Steve. True story. When I was in college, girls used to love it when I read their textbooks to them.
And I'm Kevin, and my voice makes women want to buy new cars. Let's talk about what we can do for you. Reach out to me by phone or text 512-653-9491 or check me out online at themcadamscompany.com. I'm Kevin McAdams with the McAdams Company Creative. No longer working alone. I love to make commercials. Let me make yours.
From West Texas all the way to the bayou and all points in between.
I saw miles and miles of Texas.
All this is the K-Max Sports Network, bringing your teams to you.
This is one of my dream words.
This is the K-Max Sports Network.
All right, week number 8, Glenn. Coming on a 5-game winning streak, looking to extend it here, looking to clinch a playoff berth. But before we do that, EJ, let's take a look around the district. We got some very big games with some very big playoff implications. We'll start off with Weiss at Eastview. Eastview 2-2 in the district. They need a win. They're kind of in that bottom with Elgin and Eastview, and then
Cedar Creek
as well. So those teams are 2-2. So a really important game for Eastview to get back on the snide. Weiss 0-7. It's kind of the perfect game to kind of take their revenge out on what happened last week against Glenn. We also got Elgin at Cedar Creek, so 2-2 teams going up. And then the biggest game, in my opinion, is Brenham
at Bastrop.
Bastrop at Brenham. Both teams are 3-1, so one of those teams is going to come up with 2 losses. For Glenn to win the district, they just got to win 2 of the last 3. Doesn't matter if they win this one and lose the next 2, or lose the next one. They just got to win 2 of the next 3. It's theirs. They'll hold the tiebreaker against any. They'll have the better record anyway. But they're looking for this one. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. So again, this Marble Falls team, they have an offense. This quarterback has thrown for 400 yards already this season. They've put up 50 points just like Glenn has. So this is a very high-powered offense, and I think we're going to have to see another defensive performance that we've been seeing so far.
Yeah, we keep talking about what the identity of Glenn is, and the offense, of course, playing amazing, and the defense is something really special that we've seen develop over the course of the season. And me and you talk all the time off broadcast and off the record that this defense is slowly becoming the identity of this team. This team, whenever they need it, seems like the defense is the one that sets it off whenever they need something big to happen.
And again, I would, and Coach Shainfield would tell you the same thing. I don't want to throw the offense under the bus, but in the first half, they put the defense in tough spots by having 3-and-outs. They were not getting a lot of rest. The punts, they were putting them in very, very short field. I mean, you couldn't give a team like Eastview and Zion Esther, can't give them the ball at the 45-yard line in your own territory and expect to hold them. But defense was able to come up big. Offense sustained some very big drives and came back. Again, we did get a chance to talk to Dom Sullivan about his play and him coming up to the big show now in varsity. Let's talk to Dom, see what he has to say. All right, we're now joined by cornerback Dom Sullivan as we get ready for the matchup with the Marble Falls Mustangs. Dom, you came up from JV and you've had an immediate impact, couple of big interceptions, none bigger than the one last week. 3rd and goal, they go for it. You get the big interception. You really changed the outcome of that game. Just talk to me about that play and just the energy that was on the bench afterwards.
Well, I've been practicing a lot. My coaches are giving me all the information I need to make sure that I'm in the right position to make plays. And I just followed what they've been teaching me throughout the weeks that I've been here, and it worked out.
What's been the biggest adjustment coming from JV getting called up to the big show now with, in varsity?
So in varsity, like, there's a lot more commitment. So I have to come to school early on the mornings and Saturdays and come before school on Mondays and Tuesdays instead of just showing up to normal practice.
Is it, I guess the question I really want to know is when you're going up against some of these bigger guys on the varsity level, is it more of a challenge? Or, I mean, do you like the challenge? Like, what is it about kind of being at this level that's exciting for you?
Yeah, they're definitely bigger, but I'm not really afraid because like the rest of my peers on defense, I know they're the same size or bigger, and they do what they're supposed to, so I don't really have to worry about much.
When the season started, obviously you guys have started a long time ago, but now when you get into September, and Coach loves to tell this story, and I want to hear it from you. He said he texted you late at night after one of the games to say, hey, be ready. Just walk me through that moment.
Well, it was pretty late. I don't know why I was awake, but he just texted me after the game. I was there at the game, so I knew what happened.
Yeah.
I guess the performance on the DB spot wasn't so great.
Yep.
So they needed more players. So he texted me late at night, and I was awake, and I told him that I could show up, and he gave me a spot.
So now moving forward, after that, you guys have won 5 in a row. I mean, your wildest dreams, would you ever imagine this happening?
Well, like, I always felt that I could play at this position. Like, while I was on JV, I only played offense.
Yep.
So it was kind of a wild card he just pulled me up to play cornerback.
Who are some of the leaders that you look to so far in this defense? Who are the guys that you kind of blend with the most?
Like when I first got up here, I was like, wow, it's crazy that I get to be on like the same team, the same defense as people like Noah Holmes, big guy, and he always like runs across the field, makes tackles, and really gets the job done.
Yeah. So what have you seen so far? Last question to get ready for this game against Marble Falls. If you guys win, you're in the playoffs, so we know that's a big goal of the program. But what have you seen so far in film study to get you ready for this week?
Well, we see that like they're a pass-heavy offense. We've been watching a lot of film, but we're just gonna do everything that we've been training for out on the field and just hope it works.
Absolutely. So, great job. It's Dom Sullivan, sophomore defensive back for the Glen Grizzlies, as we get ready for our Week 8 matchup against the Marble Falls Mustang. Thanks so much, Dom.
Thank you.
All right, so Dom Sullivan, the most interesting thing, EJ, is I talk to these guys and they play hard, they hit hard. Some of them are big, some of them aren't. They're all soft-spoken, really gentle guys. But when we watch them across this field, they're some tough kids. But it's just always interesting to see how soft-spoken and sweet these guys are. Sometimes we do forget that they are high school kids. And a separate thing to mention, and I want to go in more detail during halftime when we can get everybody the proper recognition. This team had a lot of kids make the honor roll. A-plus kids, a lot of kids in the A and B average as well, from all levels, the varsity, the JV, the freshmen, everybody making varsity. So sometimes we watch these games and we forget guys are all student athletes and they do their job.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest compliments you can give a student athlete. I mean, I'm a student athlete myself, and that's something that's more important to me than anything else, is being on top of your grades. And also, if you're excelling on the field, that's just a plus. So seeing these guys do something like that is pretty special because they're also doing something special on the field.
Absolutely, but let's take it to football. We got one of the leading rushers in the district right now on our squad, Julian Morris. He's rushing the ball 78 times so far this season. He's also got 561 yards, got 200-yard games last week, 18 carries, 123 yards. He was able to close that game out for them. Let's take a listen and catch up with Julian Morris before we get started here.
Julie, you came back last week, 28 unanswered points against Eastview. Looking back, what was the biggest thing you took from that game?
Having hard work, dedication to come back and win.
You lead a remarkable group of talented running backs, and you're pacing this team right now that open up the passing game. Talk about the bond that you have with all these backs: Lamont Slade, Corin Thompson, Clay Upton, Ron Stubblefield, Shamir Nichols, and yourself. This is a really talented group. Talk about just the camaraderie that you guys have together.
We all have the same mindset of getting yards and then helping our team win as a whole, and everybody do good in our position group.
So us up top in the booth, we call you the bruiser. You seem to get all those hard yardage, and you're the big back out of there. But you run for some really big runs out there, some speedy runs as well, at least 3 or 4 50 yards plus. Just talk to me about seeing those holes that the offensive line is opening up for you guys.
They're pretty good holes. We have good linemen, and so I try to help them out by getting through the hole. And if I see a defender, I just
your quarterback is leading the district now in completions, yards, and passing touchdowns. Talk to me about the play of Drew McGuire and his leadership inside the huddle.
Drew is a pretty good guy. He's a leader on his team, and we all get his type of like juice.
His energy.
Yeah, his energy. And you just feed off of him.
So Big game against Marble Falls. If you win, you guys are in the playoffs. That's one of the goals you have set for this season. But what's it going to take to come out with a win on Friday against Marble Falls?
All the hard work and practice and having a good motor from the first step to the last snap.
Last question I'll ask you. I always ask the defensive guys, what's it like when they're getting turnovers, they're stopping their offense, and they get to watch you guys put up so many points? But on the other side, what's it like, if you guys aren't able to complete a drive and you know the defense is going to come up big for you guys? What's it like, the trust that you have in them, and what's it like watching those guys get busy?
It's good. It's fun watching our defense play and watching them get stops so we can get back on offense and go down and score.
Absolutely. So that was Julian Morris, senior running back, joining us on the pregame show before our matchup against Marble Falls. Julian, thanks so much. All right, that's Julian Morris, Jr. He corrected me when we were done. I thought he was going to knock me down. He's a junior running back. I had him as a senior running back, so he's there. EJ, we're 90 seconds to kickoff. Marble Falls, 24 points per game, 350 yards a game coming into this one. Again, as I mentioned, a pass-heavy team, 210 yards passing per game, 140 on the ground. Glenn, 33.1 points a game, 30 points in their last 5 games, almost 400 yards of offense. What are your keys to tonight's game?
My keys to tonight's game is just play how you know how to. This is a trap game. That's what they call it in the NFL. When this is the team, no disrespect to Marble Falls, this is the team that you really think you're supposed to be able to beat pretty consistently. If you gave them 10 games, you're supposed to win 9 of them. So, and with the Coach Shanefield team, that's something that we usually do not have to worry about, because Coach Shanefield's team, and you've watched them at practice, you see them in the weight room, you know about their weight room culture, you see that this isn't usually a team that takes plays off. So it's still playing your game, and it's more a less broad key to the game is on the defensive side of the ball is going to be stay good on the ground, because this is a team that likes to run the ball and have 2 guys that can run it effectively.
Absolutely. So it looks like that Marble Falls is going to take off the opening kickoff. It'll be Pedro Soto, the homecoming king, getting ready to boot this one off as we are getting ready for football. Again, big win. With a win, Glenn clinches a playoff berth. They'll be the first team in Central Texas history to do so in their inaugural season. Left to right on your radio. Great kick from Soto as it's going to be taken at the 14-yard line. Turning upfield, getting across inside to the 30, all the way to the 34-yard line is number 7, Hayden Wells. What a return there.
Yeah, Hayden Wells is going to be a guy we're going to have to watch for the rest of the game, but he is very dangerous. I talked about him on the pregame show. The running back has 3 touchdowns, averaging about 30 yards a game, has over 200 on the season.
Absolutely. So we'll get our first look at the senior, Andrew Stripling. Stripling, 6'5", 143 pounds. 185 pounds, 143 passing attempts so far on the season, 1,129 yards, 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So here is the first play of the game. Stripling back to pass. He's facing pressure. He's going to roll out to the left. It looks like he's looking for Wilson. And are they calling it a catch? Looks like they will call it a catch. That's actually number 83, Warren Copeland, with the catch. That'll be a pickup of about... Is it incomplete? What are they saying on it? Incomplete on the pass. So first pass of the game is dropped by Copeland. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for Marble Falls. Stripling again, pass. He's going to come out of the pocket, and he's going to be met by a bunch of Grizzlies at the 34-yard line. No gain, so 2 great defensive stops so far for the Grizzlies. 3rd down and 10.
First Grizzly there on that last play was Keegan Moore, a guy that we've talked about on the last couple of broadcasts, a guy that's been getting in there more and making an impact on the defensive side of the ball.
Again, so Stripling takes the first carry. No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 10. But first quarter, 11:15 and counting left to go in the first quarter. 3rd down and 9. They'll actually probably give him a yard on the play. Marble Falls from their own 35-yard line. They need their own 44 for the first down. Stripling back to pass on 3rd down. He's going to hit a receiver in the flat. He's going to run across. Almost gets to first down, and he does. As he's going to get across for the first down. That looks like that's number 16, Luke Nail. That's his main receiver. And he's going to get out to the 46-yard line. So a 11-yard pickup and a first down.
Luke Nail, a guy that they also trust to throw the ball. He's their 2nd leading passer. So we'll have to see if there's any wildcat formations they'll be throwing out of, or maybe some end arounds to get the quarterback some throwing lanes.
So on third down, 1 for 1 so far. And the give now is to the outside. Looks like that's Wells, and he's going nowhere. So he's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage at the 46-yard line. So no gain on the play by Hayden Wells. So Brian Creel in on the tackle. Second down and 11. So he gets lost a yard on the play. And defense starting to come up big. 2 wide receivers out to the right, 1 to the near side. Second down and 11. Mustangs from their own 33. Stripling's going to take it himself. He's got nowhere to go, and he dumps it off. At the last second, he's going to get into Grizzly territory to the 49-yard line. Looks like that's number 94, Josh Wycotton. He also plays defense as well. He came into today's game with 7 catches, 48 yards. He comes up with a catch there.
Not exactly somebody you game plan for, or somebody who plays mainly on the defensive side of the ball.
So 5-yard pickup on the play. Stripling again from the shotgun in Grizzly territory at the 49-yard line. Takes a pass, rolls out to his left. He's looking to throw downfield. He hits Nail at the 40-yard line, breaks a tackle, and he's inside the 40, down at the 37-yard line. A 12-yard pickup and a first down for Luke Nail.
We're going to keep talking about it throughout this broadcast, but this is a Marble Falls team that isn't scared to put points on the board, and they can move the ball very efficiently when they get going good.
First down from the Grizzly 37. First down and 10 is Stripling is going to come back and look at his bench to get the play. Head coach Mike Birdwell for the Mustangs. Snap. Screen pass to Nail on the outside. He's going to get across inside the 30-yard line. They'll mark him out of bounds at about the 29. So an 8-yard pickup to Luke Nail. Looks like the offense is going through Nail, EJ.
Yeah, his offense is looking really good right now, so it's going to be up to the defense to try to adjust early and not let this game get away from them early.
4 for 5 on passing. Looks like they're going to bring this one back, though.
Number 74 for the offense. 15-yard penalty from the previous stop. Repeat first down.
So they're going to redo the down as a chop block on number 74, Mario Gonzalez. And that's going to push Marble Falls back into their own territory. It's going to push them back at their own 48-yard line. So a big 15-yard penalty on the play.
Yeah, Glenn defense catches a break early to see if they'll take advantage and keep them on that side of the field.
So it'll bring up 2nd and 25. Again, Marble Falls needs the Glenn 28 for a first down, 26 for a first down. Stripling back to pass, lets it loose. And he was looking for number 25, Gabe Barker, but it was wide on the play. Again, Stripling's got a nice little arm out there.
Yeah, slung that towards the backside. It looked like he was looking for a back shoulder pass to one of his receivers. Must have been a little miscommunication because there was no receiver there. His receiver went for the go route instead of the stop.
So 2nd down and 25. No score here, first quarter, 8:42 on the clock after the incompletion. 2nd down and 25. Mustangs from their own 48-yard line with the Grizzly 27. Stripling from the shotgun. He's back to pass. Looks to hand off. Fakes it. Throws across the field. He hits Linder, who's going to get inside the 40, down at about the 36-yard line. So great play. A 16-yard pickup to Brock Linder. And 3rd and manageable for the Mustangs.
Linder, 438 yards, 2 touchdowns on the season, showing off his hands right there. Snatched the ball right out of the air for a big gain. 12-yard pickup.
Yep. 3rd down and 9 for the Mustangs. They have the ball at the Grizzly 36-yard line. The Grizzly 27 for a first down. Stripling was calling for the snap, but nothing doing. 5 on the game clock. Excuse me. Stripling back to pass. He's looking. Throws deep, and he's looking. He's got look like Luke Nail again. This time inside the 25-yard line. It's actually Brock Linder, who's going to be marked out of bounds at the 23-yard line. So a 13-yard pickup and another first down for the Mustangs. They're really moving it.
That's something that makes Lindor so dangerous on the offensive side of the football, is that he can catch passes out of the backfield. Looks like this one is coming back as well, though.
Another penalty for this Marble Falls team. Again, they've been able to move the ball, but it keeps getting pushed back. Ball's pushed back now to the Grizzly 46-yard line. So it looks like it's a 10-yard penalty from where they originally were. So holding on there. You're kind of wondering, Stripling looks like he has all day to pass, and that holding penalty is probably why. Stripling again, forced out of the pocket. He's rolling out to his right. He's looking. He's got nowhere to go. He's going to throw across the field, and it's tipped. What a defensive play. I think that's Cody Bagwell on the defense. And incomplete.
That was a good play right there by Cody Bagwell. And something I was confused about during that last play was Stripling had a wide open lane to run the ball. He's not afraid to. He has 3 rushing touchdowns on the year, and he refused to take it himself. Could have easily picked up some good yardage there. Caught a good break right there for the Glen defense.
Absolutely. So it looks like we're going to have a punt here. It's going to be Logan Barnes punting. He's standing at his own 42-yard line. Back to return for the Grizzlies is Alec Townsley, as the ball takes a Marble Falls bounce and it is going to roll all the way inside the 5-yard line. It is going to be picked up at the 4.5-yard line. We're just going to have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, 1st and 95. That's the mentality right here. Looking to try to score 7s on the point, 7s early in this game. But the offense for Marble Falls on that last drive, 10 plays, and usually that's something that we haven't really seen a lot from the Glen defense. They're usually good at forcing offenses off the field and trying to give their offense a shot early to get ahead.
That was a long drive, EJ. That was about 4 minutes and 45 seconds. I mean, from high school standards, that is a long drive. Now we get a chance to see this Glen offense for the first time in the backfield. It's going to be Julian Morris for the Grizzlies. So they're starting at their own 5-yard, 1st and 10. Shotgun snap, give is to Morris, looking to get some room. He busts up the middle, through, over the 25 to the 35, 30, 35, all the way down to the 38-yard line. Julian Morris erupts for a 33-yard carry on the first play of the game.
We talk about him being the bruiser, but you said it when we talked to him on the pregame show. He can get in space, and he has some speed. He showed it right there, just bursted right through the line.
Glenn going hurry up now as McGuire is back to pass. He's going to roll out to the left. He's looking. He's going to hit Nate Hatter. There he goes outside, just shy of midfield. They will mark him out at the 46-yard line. An 8-yard pickup to Nate Hatter.
Defense on the play was Elijah Todd, the sophomore linebacker. So some young guys getting on the defense for Marble Falls.
2nd down and 2 from the Grizzly 46-yard line. Shotgun snap to McGuire. He rolls out to his right. He's looking to throw. He's going to have Sam Martin inside, and Sam Martin drops the ball. He was looking to run before he caught that one.
Yes, commit that to memory because we haven't seen a lot of those this year. A drop pass from Sam Martin. It would have picked up the first down for the offense. Wasn't able to hang on.
So 3rd down and 2 from the 46-yard line. We're going to bring in two running backs. It'll be Slade and Morris in the backfield. 2 wide receivers out to the left. Nate Hatter on the near side at the tight end spot. So 3rd down and 2 from their own 46. They need the 48 for a first down. Shotgun snap to McGuire. He gives to Morris. Going to bounce off tackle. Looks like he's got the first down and more as he's going to rumble his way into Mustang territory. And he's down at the Mustang 48-yard line, a 6-yard pickup.
It was a good job by the left side of that offensive line for Glenn, headed by Jacob Trim on the left side of it. Did a good job opening up that hole on the left side. Good gain right there for Julian Morris.
Converting on 3rd down. 1st down and 10 from the Mustang 48-yard line. The give is to Slade this time. He's going to bounce his way, and he hits a pile. He's going to get to about the 47-yard line. So a 2-yard pickup for Lamont Slade. 2nd down and 8.
First guy there was Josh Whitecoin, the defensive player, not the receiver that we saw in that last offensive possession for Marble Falls.
2nd down and about 8 from the 47-yard line, they're calling. So 2nd down and 9 from the 47. McGuire in the shotgun snap. Morris next to him. They'll put Stubblefield in motion. They fake the give to him. He's going to roll outside, cross the 45-yard line, and he is going to be knocked down at the 45-yard line. So a 2-yard pickup for Ronderick Stubblefield, bringing up 3rd down and 7.
They got a good hit from Jet Huffman, the junior defensive back.
And Grizzlies converted on 3rd down already. Looking for their 2nd time on 3rd down. 3rd down and 7 from the Marble Falls 45-yard line. McGuire back to pass. He rolls out to his right. He has time. Sam Martin catches on this one. He's going to fight his way down to the 40-yard line, and he's going to have himself a first down, the 35-yard line, 10-yard pickup for Sam Martin.
Yeah, I told you to commit it to memory because Sam Martin usually bounces back from plays like that, usually old reliable. makes a play right there to pick up the first down for the Grizzlies.
Absolutely. So first down and 10 for the Mustangs 35. Again, Julian Morris getting things going on that 33-yard carry to start off this drive. 4:53 left to go in the first quarter. McGuire rolls out to his left. He hits Nate Hatter, and he drops that one, as that one is a little bit behind him, but a catch that he'll tell you he should have made. So second down and 10 for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, some uncharacteristic mistakes that we've seen from the offense. These receivers, and we talked about it on fumbles too, this team is not a team that likes to put the ball on the ground. Has only one lost fumble on the season. So these drops are very uncharacteristic for these offense.
Second down and 10 from the Mustang 35-yard line. Great crowd here in Marble Falls. Shotgun snap, rolls out to his left. And Jarvis Henderson catches the ball. He breaks a tackle inside the 25-yard line. He's going to be marked down at the 23-yard line. A 12-yard pickup and a first down for the Grizzlies.
Ben Anderson was the last line of defense for that Marble Falls defense, because if he doesn't tie him up by the shoestrings right there, he cruises in for the touchdown.
30 yards passing so far on the game for Drew McGuire. 3 for 5. First down and 10 from the Mustangs 22-yard line. Handoff. Slade pushing his way, fighting, trying to get inside the 20. They're going to mark him forward progress at the 21-yard line, so a 1-yard pickup for Lamont Slade. He had to earn that one.
Lamont Slade doing his best to try to make something out of nothing right there. The front seven for the Marble Falls Mustangs did a good job stuffing that run, not letting it get crazy.
So it'll be second down and 9 for the Grizzlies. No score, 3:51 and counting left to go in the first quarter. No score. McGuire in the shotgun snap. Slade next to him. Snap, fake the give to Slade. He's going to hit Henderson, who's going to bounce out to the outside, fight his way, trying to get inside the 20, and he does. He's down at the 17-yard line, a 4-yard pickup for Jarvis Henderson. It's going to bring up third down and 5.
Steve Rodriguez was in on the tackle for Marble Falls, so now the first third down in the red zone of the night. You'd like to see them convert here and try to look for a touchdown instead of a field goal.
2 for 2 so far on this drive on third down. See if they can make it 3 for 3. Julian Morris is in at running back for this one. Stubblefield in motion, and there's a flag on the play. It might be false start. And we'll wait to see what the referee says. Rudy Martinez, the left guard, on the false start, so that's going to bring it back to third down and 10. First penalty of the game for the Grizzlies.
So you're seeing a lot of uncharacteristic things from this offense so far. Penalties and drop passes, things that we haven't seen in the prior couple of weeks in those big wins.
And the jitters on that long bus ride, probably trying to get loose right now. Third down and 10 from the 22. McGuire rolls out to the right. He's looking. He's got Stubblefield, overthrows him. It would have been short anyways. That's going to bring up fourth down for the Grizzlies on the incomplete pass.
Maybe a little case of the yips right there from Drew McGuire. Usually a guy who we see put the ball right on the money in precision passes, not the biggest arm in the world. We try to show it off right there, but it looks like the offense is going to stay on the field.
So fourth down and 10 from the Marble Falls 22-yard line. Drew McGuire gets the snaps, a low one. Back to pass, throws across the middle. Broken up. What a play on the defense for Marble Falls.
Number 13, Lance Long, did sophomore defensive back. So you see some of these underclassmen for Marble Falls starting to make plays, and that was a big play right there, keeping Glenn off the board and keeping this game close for the time being.
He was looking for Anderson, and he had him right there in the middle of the end zone. But again, great play by Lance Long to break it up. So it'll be a turnover on downs for the Grizzlies. 2:36 left to go in the first quarter. No score here.
Now it's up to the defense to try to redeem it right there. This drive starting with 2:36 left to go in the first quarter.
And that false start penalty set them back a little bit. Stripling's going to hand the ball off to Wells, and he's brought down immediately by Brian Creel in the backfield. Actually going to lose a couple of yards on the play. A loss of 3. Second down and 13. Wells.
Again, Brian Creel showing a little more motion on that one. It seemed like he nodded his head twice. And I say that sarcastically. Brian Creel, the soft-spoken linebacker that you've had the chance to talk to, the leader on this defense.
Cooper Wilson, on the carry. Second down and 13 from the Marble Falls 19. Stripling back to pass. He's going to hit his receiver out of bounds, and he's going to get out to the 27-yard line. So an 8-yard pickup. That'll bring up third down and 5.
That's going to be important for these defensive backs right here to not let these receivers get out into the flat, because it only takes a couple of yards for them to be able to turn upfield and try to pick up the first down.
So Hayden Wells on the reception. Third down and 4. Stripling back to pass. Slings one across the field. He's got Brock Linder, and he is in at the 41-yard line. Big tackle there from Noah Holmes, but not before they pick up the first down. Ball is at the 42-yard line.
Linder, probably their most dynamic player on the offensive side of the football. A guy that has gone for over 400 yards through the air, averaging 62 a game.
50 yards passing down the game for Andrew Stripling. First down and 10 from the Mustangs' 42-yard line. A minute left to go in the first quarter. And Stripling can really throw the ball. He's got a tremendous arm back there. Shotgun snap, looking to throw. He's going to hit Linder again. He's across midfield, and he is inside the 45-yard line, down at the 42-yard line.
So you see the offensive strategy.
16-yard pickup. Sorry for Brock Linder.
Yeah, you're good. You're starting to see the offensive strategy coming up so far in this game through the first quarter for the Mustangs, and that simply is eliminate those vertical routes, go throw just crossing routes, and try to get out into the flat and start to pick up these first downs chunk by chunk instead of trying to go all the way down the field, because we know very few teams have had a chance to do that so far this year.
Absolutely. So first down and 10 from the Grizzlies' 42-yard line. High snap. The give is to Wells, and he's going to be brought down by Lee Pollock. He's going to be brought down at the 42-yard line, so no gain on the play from Wells.
Looks like 8-7, so it looks like that will take us to the end of the first quarter.
Absolutely. So end of the first quarter, no score here. Got teams moving the ball down the field, but nobody able to convert. We're going to head to the second quarter after a break. You're listening to Grizzlies Football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
Vype Media is the state's most comprehensive high school sports media outlet, covering UIL, private schools. Vype has been in Texas for over a decade. Visit their website at VypeTexas.com. And also pick up your Vype magazine today. Get in the game with Vype Media.
Socialize with us.
You don't have what they call the social skills.
On Twitter at KMAX Sports, or catch us on Facebook. Search KMAX Sports. Just another way KMAX Sports is bringing your teams to you.
This is head football coach Rob Shainfeld, and you're listening to Grizzlies Football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
All right, second quarter, no score here at Mustang Stadium in Marble Falls, Texas, as Marble Falls has the ball inside of Grizzly territory at the 43-yard line. Dom Sullivan said it best, EJ. They're a pass-heavy team, and they're showing it right now. He's been hitting Linder and Nail all day long. Ross Stripling has one of the best arms we've seen so far this season.
Yeah, he's slinging it back there, and really the first guy that we've seen show off a tremendous arm like that. I mean, we've seen Hunter Houston of Cedar Creek, and we've seen Colson of Eastview, two guys that were really good quarterbacks, the two best quarterbacks that we've probably seen all year. But Stripling has shown probably the most talented arm in terms of just sheer power behind his throws.
So Cooper Wilson in the backfield with Stripling. Second down and 11. Fakes the handoff to him. Stripling fires across the field. He's got Linder inside the 30, pushing his way all the way down to the 21-yard line. A 20. They're marking down at the 20. A 23-yard pickup for Brock Linder.
Brock Linder so far making his mark on this game. I've talked about him already, averaging about 63 yards a game. He's well on his way to breaking that right now.
He's got 4 catches for 69 yards, EJ. So he's getting it going, and they're hitting him right in the middle of the field.
So it's going to be up to these linebackers and mainly Alec Townsley and Noah Holmes in the secondary to try to contain him, because he's running a lot of short horizontal routes.
First down and 10. Stripling gives the ball up. Looks like it's Wilson. He's going to break through the middle, and he's inside the 10-yard line all the way down at the 3-yard line. A 17-yard pickup for Cooper Wilson and a first down.
This Glen defense right now is on its heels. They're on their heels.
First and goal for the Mustangs at the 2-yard line. Stripling tries to push it in himself on the quarterback sneak.
Looks like he might have got in.
And they are going to signal that he's in. Ross Stripling gets in for the touchdown. That's his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. Mustangs lead at 6-0 here with 11:03 to go in the second quarter.
Something I wasn't able to comment on in the pregame show, but I made a point to at some point during the broadcast, is Stripling is not scared to call his own number. He has 5 touchdowns through the air so far this season, but he also has 3 on the ground, so he's not afraid to call on himself to try to punch it in when he's in the red zone.
Here's Barnes. Nail will hold the extra point. Barnes' kick is up, and it is good. As the Mustangs jump out to an early 7-0 lead against the Grizzlies. 11:03 left to go in the second quarter. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're listening to Grizzlies football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
We hope you're enjoying tonight's broadcast. At KMAX Sports, we work hard to provide quality professional broadcasts to make it easier for the booster clubs with whom we work to find sponsorships. We ask that you please patronize these advertisers and thank them for supporting your team's broadcasts. You can help your booster club fund the broadcast by simply clicking on the donate button on KMAXSports.com. And if you're a fan of the other school, you can show your appreciation for tonight's broadcast by making a donation as well. Thank you in advance for your support. And now, let's take you back out to the game.
This is linebacker Lee Pollock, and you're listening to Grizzlies football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
All right, we're back. 11:03 left to go in the second quarter. Ross Stripling brings it in, or Andrew Stripling, brings it in for a 2-yard quarterback sneak touchdown. Mustangs lead it 7-0. Jarvis Henderson and Sam Martin are back to receive the kick from Logan Barnes as the Grizzlies will prepare for their second drive of the game. Mustangs winning the time of possession so far in this one.
They're kicking off from the 40.
And Barnes is going to back his way up about three yards away. And here's the kick. It's a good one. And it looks like Jarvis Henderson is going to catch at the 18-yard line. He's across the 20, across the 25, at the 30. He's all the way down at the 31-yard line. Great return for Jarvis Henderson, and they'll actually give him the 32-yard line. So Drew McGuire and the Grizzlies offense will get back to work from their own 32.
Yeah, good field position to start for the offense. They need to take advantage right here, and we've seen this team do such a good job so far this season of bouncing back. Whenever the defense, though rare, whenever it has given up a touchdown, the offense usually responds with a score of their own.
So here's Julian Morris, will be the lone back with Drew McGuire. It'll be Martin and Henderson to the near side. And Nichols actually in motion, and another flag on the play. Might be another false start for the Grizzlies. We'll hear what the call is.
False start on the offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty.
So it looks like Rudy Martinez again called for the false start
of this game. So 2 false start. That's going to push Glenn all back to their own 27-yard line. 2 penalties, 10 yards in the game for Glenn. And they're going to have first down and 15 from their own 27. They need their own 42 for a first down. Nichols and Stumblefield out to the left. Henderson on his own to the right. And McGuire takes a snap. It was a delayed snap. I guess he thought that Morris jumped up, but Nichols is going to get all the way to the 35-yard line. That was a missed call by the referees because Julian Morris did jump on that play.
I mean, you'll take what you can get at this point.
Absolutely. Second down and 7 after the 8-yard pickup to Shamir Nichols.
And it looks like there is another flag again near the far side 30-yard line.
There we go.
Sideline warning against Glenn. The first is just a warning.
So they're calling a sideline warning against Glenn. That play was interesting because Drew McGuire caught the snap and stopped because I guess he thought that there was going to be a penalty because Julian Morris did jump a little too early. But nonetheless, an 8-yard pickup to Nichols is going to bring down second down and 7 from their own 35-yard line. Again, they need their own 42 for the first down.
Nate Hatter's isolated in the slot with a DB that he seems much bigger than right now.
McGuire looking across. He's going to hit Nichols, who's going to fight his way across the 40 inside the 46-yard line. He's going to be down at the 46-yard line. So an 11-yard pickup for Shamir Nichols and a first down for the Grizzlies.
Shamir Nichols showing off his little burst of speed he had at the back end of that play. We've seen it multiple times throughout the season, but right there it seemed like it was going to be a 3 to 5 yard game. Turned it upfield, turned it into a first down for the Grizzlies.
First down and 10 from the Grizzlies' 46-yard line. Going 4 wide receivers out there. Julian Morris, the lone back. He'll get to the right side of McGuire. And he'll fake the handoff to him. He'll hit Nichols again. He's trying to get across midfield, and he is brought down at the 49-yard line. Big hit there from number 20, I think it's number 23.
Steve Rodriguez. Again, so far the leading tackler on the defense for Marble Falls thus far.
So a pickup, another flag is down. There's flags everywhere here. So far it's a 3-yard pickup for Shamir Nichols until we see what the flag is on the play. And Glenn coming into today's game, 33 points per game. They got a lot of work to do if they want to get that average. And they're picking up the flag now.
So it seems like they...
Pass interference on the offense. There's blocking beyond the line of scrimmage, and the ball is caught beyond the line of scrimmage. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot.
Wow. A 15-yard penalty, pass interference on the offense. They didn't say who the receiver was. Apparently they were blocking downfield. So a 15-yard penalty is going to move the ball all the way back to the Glen 31-yard line.
Yeah, 19 yards so far going on this drive, but that 15 put you back, so only 4 net yards so far on this drive. And it looked like that possibly could have been Nate Hatter when I said he was isolated in the slot again. It seemed like he was blocking just a little bit too early.
So first down and 25 from their own 31. They need the Marble Falls 44-yard line for a first down. Nice healthy gain here on first down. Snap. Fake the give to Morris, and it's thrown wide. So he was looking for Jarvis Henderson. That ball was almost picked off on a deflection. Second down and 25. Grizzlies got to get on the same page. They look just out of sorts right now.
Lance Long had a chance of that interception. He's on the far sideline, a little angry with himself. He knows he could have had a turnover right there. But Drew McGuire, we're seeing something uncharacteristic of him. We've usually seen him be more of a precision passer, putting the ball where it needs to be. It seems like right now, trying to show off a little bit of that arm strength that we know he has, but a guy that we haven't really seen so far.
Second and 25 from their own 31. Julian Morris in at running back. 2 wide receivers to the right. Henderson out to the left. They fake the give to Stubblefield. Morris is going to break outside. He's going to get inside the 30, break his own man, and he's going to be marked down at the 34-yard line. So a 3-yard pickup for Julian Morris. He's going to bring up third down and 22.
Nicholas Maddox was on the tackle for Marble Falls. Nicholas Maddox is the offensive lineman for Glenn. He ran right into him. Julian Morris trying to get around him. Seemed like he just knocked him straight to his legs right there.
So you're going to go 3 wide receivers out to the left. It'll be Hatter, Stumblefield, and Martin out there. Henderson out by himself. 4 wide receivers. McGuire back to pass. He's facing pressure. He's flushed out of the pocket. He's got nowhere to go. He's just going to throw this one out of bounds. 4th down for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, a drive that was starting off so well. Didn't really come up with anything. 8:38 left to go. So you had a drive that was going well. Your offense was finally starting to click. Then it just turns into a 2-minute drive, and you only gained 4 yards from the original spot. So not a good way to start right there for the Glen offense on its second possession.
2 penalties, 20 yards on that drive as well. You can't have that. It looks like it's Derek Childs back to punt. His kick is up. This is a nice punt as it's going to be inside of Marble Falls territory. It's going to take a Glen bounce inside the 35-yard line. It's going to keep rolling, and they're going to pick it up at the 31-yard line. So a net punt of 35 yards, and the Mustangs will take over at their own 31.
So we keep talking about this offense. It's only 2 drives, so we don't want to start to overreact early. But what do you think the key is so far to try to get them back on track and get back to that well-oiled machine that we've seen so far?
You get Julian Morris with a 33-yard run up the middle, first play of the game, and they kind of gotten away with that. They've been letting Drew McGuire throw the ball, which isn't a bad thing, but Morris showed you he can come right up the middle. Let those offensive linemen let them work. But the penalties have been big, too. 2 false starts by Martinez, and then the holding penalty. Give is to Wells. He's going to bounce to the outside to the 40, 45 across midfield, and finally brought out of bounds by Alec Townsley. He gets inside of Grizzly territory. He's going to be marked down at the Grizzly 48-yard line. That's a 21-yard pickup. Cooper Wilson. Cooper Wilson, 3 carries, 35 yards in this one.
So you're seeing the offense usually utilizing their game plan early, trying to go with the short passes and try to keep the ball on the ground and not let those playmakers in the secondary try to do their thing.
First down and 10 from midfield, and Wilson again is trying to find his way, and he's going to get maybe a yard on the plays. He's met by a bunch of Grizzlies. That's Callan Guyton, and looks like Brian Creel in on the tackle. So a 1-yard pickup for Wilson. That's going to bring up second down and 9.
1-yard gain, second down and 9.
Another thing that the team isn't doing so well that they have done in the past is they're not winning the field position game. You've had a long field to work with on one of your 2 drives.
Free play on the penalties, a flag down. A bunch of Grizzlies jumped off sides. We'll see if it's offsides or false start, but 3 Grizzlies jumped on that snap. Second down and 9. Let's see what the penalty is.
Jeff Francis Daiku called for the offsides.
That's the 4th penalty of the game so far for the Grizzlies. 4 penalties, 30 yards. You can't keep shooting yourself in the foot like this. This is now going to be second down and 4 from the Grizzly 44-yard line. Again, if you're just joining us, 7:50 left to go in the second quarter. Marble Falls leading Glenn 7-0 in this one. Stripling, shotgun snap, fakes a give. He's going to take it himself, and he's going to push his way to the 41-yard line. So a pickup of 3 on the go by Stripling. It'll bring up third down and 1. So third down and 1. See if this defense can have a big stand. They're bringing in some big boys now. Hunter Lobato checks in, as well as Bryson Hunter. It's going to be third down and 1 from the Grizzly 42-yard line. 41 they're calling it. They need the 40 for the first down. Shotgun snap. It's Wilson. He's going to try to take it, and they're going to give him the 40, it looks like. Are they going to call it a first down? I think they are. They are going to give him progress, and it is a first down. Cooper Wilson picks up the first down. First down and 10 now from the Glen 40.
You're starting to see the Marble Falls offense do something that the Glen offense hasn't been able to do, and that's consistently put together short yardage plays to try to pick up first downs. It seems like they're putting the ball in the hands of Drew McGuire thus far, and again, you said it's not a bad thing, but the strength of this team is the ground game because you have 3 or 4 guys that can make plays at any time.
Absolutely. First and 10 from the Grizzly 40. Stripling back to pass. He's looking. He's got time. Fires across, and does he have it? Looks like he has Linder, and that's actually number 84 on the play. That's actually 94, White Cotton. So that's going to be another first down on the 10-yard pickup by White Cotton. Again, Stripling has had all day to pass back there.
So sooner or later, we're going to have to try to look for Lee Pollock or Brian Creel or Petey Cervantes, guys that have been consistently getting in the backfield to try to get some sacks.
The thing is, most of the times we've seen some plays, it's going through one guy. Their offense is going through multiple guys. Stripling again. Fakes the handoff. He's going to take it himself. He's inside the 25. He's going to be out of bounds at the Grizzly 23-yard line. A 7-yard pickup on the dash by Andrew Stripling.
I mean, you look at the Glen offense, you see gains of 2, gains of 3, but then you see the gain of 0. For Marble Falls, you're starting to see the 10s, the 7s. You saw the 21 earlier. You saw the 5 yards they gave you. They're taking advantage of the mistakes that Glen have been committing, and it's very uncharacteristic of this team because we usually see them play very clean football.
Second down and 3 from the Grizzly 23-yard line. Shotgun snap, man in motion, and the give is to Stripling. He's looking to pass, he's looking across the field, and that's going to be broken up by Johnny Gwynn. And the intended receiver was Brock Linder on the play. Third down and 3, excuse me.
Yeah, good fundamental stop right there by Gwynn. Seemed like it was a slant that was going to go over the middle. Gwynn didn't let him get across. Got his hands in there, made sure the ball was out. Good play in the secondary.
3rd down and 3 from the Grizzly 23. They need the Grizzly 20-yard line. 5:50 left to go in the first half. Mustangs leading it 7-0. They're looking for more here. Wilson in the backfield with Stripling. And we might have a false start on this one. We'll see what the penalty is, but play is stop and a flag is down.
Maybe one too many energy drinks for some of these guys, because we've seen a lot more offsides, a lot more false starts, some stuff that we usually don't see more than a couple of times a game. This is about the 5th penalty of thus far, but it is going to go against Marble Falls, so a good break right there for Glenn.
False start on number 67, Frankie Gonzalez on the play. It's going to bring down 3rd down and 8. So a more manageable 3rd down for this Glenn defense, but the way Marble Falls is going, Logan Barnes has yet to attempt a field goal this season, so you think it's 4th down territory. 3rd down and 8 from the Grizzly 28-yard line. Stripling back to pass. He's got pressure. He's got nowhere to go. He's going to throw across the field, and it's Linder again. He makes the catch inside the 20-yard line. He's going to be down at the 13-yard line. What a play on the run by Andrew Stripling. A 15-yard pass and a 1st down for the Mustangs.
That's just sheer arm talent right there. Glenn finally getting into the backfield, forcing some pressure on Stripling. It didn't matter to him. He just slung that ball across his body, picked up a big gain right there for the Marble Falls Mustangs.
Ryan Krill and Lee Pollock had pressure, and they just stopped. They let Stripling back up and do what he wanted. You got to attack the quarterback in that spot. 1st down and 10 from the Grizzly 13-yard line. Barker out to the right. Stripling. Handoff. Wilson is fighting his way, and they're going to give him forward progress at the 13, so no gain on the play for Cooper Wilson. 2nd down and 10 from the Grizzly 13.
I mean, they're just bleeding the clock right now. You're on your 5th minute of your drive. You're about to run your 10th play. I mean, this is an offense right now that knows what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to keep this Glenn offense off the field and try to force this defense to play some extended minutes going into halftime, because they're dominating time of possession right now.
We're going to put out Josh Whitecotton out to the right on his own. 3 wide receivers out to the left. Barker, the lone back, he's going to go into motion. Empty backfield, 5 wide receivers for Marble Falls. Fade route in the back for Whitecotton. Can't come up with it. Defended by Dom Sullivan. Talk about the size difference between Whitecotton and Dom Sullivan. Great defensive play for Sullivan.
Yeah, Sullivan right there. He was the lone receiver on the near side, on the sideline, and he never seemed fazed by the clear size advantage that Whitecotton provided over him. Sullivan just played to his technique, didn't allow himself to get too caught up in the size difference, made a good play with his hands. Incomplete pass, good play right there for Dom Sullivan.
3rd down and 9 for Marble Falls. Ball's at the Grizzly 12-yard line. Wilson in the backfield. And they're going to change the play now. 5 seconds left to go on the play clock. 3 seconds, and that's going to force Marble Falls to call a timeout. 4:03 left to go in the first half. Marble Falls leading at 7-0. We got 3rd and 9 from the Grizzly 12 here.
Yeah, 4:25 so far on this drive for Marble Falls. And you'll say that doesn't seem like a lot, but when the Glenn offense is only on there for 2, sometimes 3 minutes at a time so far in this one in their first 2 drives, that is just enough, because you're keeping that defense off on the field, and that's putting Julian Morris, Lamont Slade, and these guys that are usually used to making plays and dominating time possession, you're keeping them on the bench. You see them on the far side, and they're itching to get on the field, but they just haven't had the chance, as the 11th play is coming up for Marble Falls right now.
So they're milking the clock. We've only seen this Glenn offense twice. And now this Glenn defense, who's come up big so far this season, they're going to have to come up big again, as they got 3rd down and 9 from the 12. Again, we haven't seen a field goal attempt this season from Logan Barnes, so you assume it's 4th down territory. Let's see what Coach Birdwell draws up for his offense and Andrew Stripling. And they just have so many weapons now, so if you're Glenn's defense, who do you zone in on? Who do you double up? Because Whitecotton's out there as a tight end. He's a big boy. They got 3 wide receivers out to the left. Anybody can get the ball. Shotgun snap to Stripling. He's back to pass. He's got a little bit of pressure, and he's going to be brought down. No, he escapes it. He's going to throw out of bounds. He had 4 Grizzlies on him, and some way got out of that one.
I don't know how he did, but that's as athletic of a play as we've seen so far. And Manuel de los Santos was the first one that had a hand on Stripling. That was just one of the best athletes that we've seen. We've seen the Zion Hesters, we've seen the Curleys, we've seen the Suttons. But this guy right here is just a physical specimen that's really hard to bring down, as we just saw right there. But it's 4th down, and it looks like they're going to be attempting a 30-yard field goal.
So they're bringing in Barnes. Again, this is his first field goal attempt of the season. As you mentioned, a 30-yarder. Snap is low. The kick is up, and it is drifting. No good, as it is wide to the left. No good for Logan Barnes. And Glenn gets a turnover. They're going to take over from the 20-yard line. Great stop by the defense there on that 3rd down to get pressure.
I mean, best case scenario right there, if you were the Glenn defense, your offense hasn't been able to put so much. You haven't really been able to fully shut down the offense of Marble Falls, and we've seen them score in chunks, as we've seen from the previous games, but you got off the field and didn't dig yourself any deeper of a hole.
Now we got to see this Glenn offense get going. They got to milk some clock. 3:50 left to go in the first half. Mustangs leading at 7-0. Again, Julian Morris in the backfield. The give is to him. Going to push his way, and met immediately. He's pushed back. He's still going on his feet, still looking to gain yardage, and he's actually going to lose a yard. But at one point, look, he was going to get taken down for a 7-yard loss. He gets back to the 19, a loss of 1 on the play.
11 plays, 59 yards on that last drive for Marble Falls. They're bleeding the clock, and they're not picking it up in huge chunks. They just keep bleeding that clock and keeping the Glen offense off the field.
2nd down and 11 from their own 19. They need the 30 for the first down. Martin out to the left, Henderson out to the right, right to left on your radio. Give is to Shamir Nichols, who's going to break a tackle. He's down at the 40-yard line. Shamir Nichols with a 21-yard pickup out of nowhere. They'll mark him down at the 39, so a 28-yard pickup for Shamir Nichols.
Shamir Nichols, again, showing a little burst of speed that we have seen, but he seems to keep kicking in another gear tonight. He's on a different level than what we've seen him playing so far.
Maybe he's got that energy drink you were talking about. They run the ball up the middle. Big play by Morris and a big play by Nichols. Let's see if they stay with it. First down and 10 from their own 39-yard line. Grizzlies trying to get going. The give is to Morris. He's pushing away across the 40. He's at the 46-yard line. So a 7-yard pickup for Julian Morris. 2nd down and 3.
Now you're starting to see the offense do what it does best, and that's run the football with your stable that you have in the backfield.
2:29 and counting. 7-0. Marble Falls leading Glen. 2nd down and 3. Shotgun snap. McGuire, give, Slade, outside, pushing his way, trying to get across midfield, and he does. They'll mark him down at the 50-yard line, so a 4-yard pickup and a first down for the Grizzlies.
Yes, offense starting to get in the groove now.
3 carries, 7 yards for Lamont Slade. Again, this is what starts to open up the pass for Drew McGuire. Run the football, let them bring a man open, and then you get single coverage with your guys on the outside. Lamont Slade will remain the back. Out to the left of McGuire. Anderson out to the right. Martin and Nichols to the left. Nichols in motion. Fake the handoff to him. They give it to Slade, who's trying to fight his way to get it back across midfield, pushing his way, still going, and he's going to be out of bounds at the 45 and a half. We'll call it the 46, so a 4-yard pickup for Lamont Slade.
Obviously, you want to be going at a good tempo. You want to take your time, make sure nothing, catastrophic happens on the offensive side of the ball. A timeout is called by Coach James, and that's a good timeout because the clock was running. You only have 1:29 left to go, and you have 45 yards that you're aiming for. So it's a good timeout right there by Coach Shadfield. Try to draw something up, maybe try to get a big play right here.
Absolutely. So Corin Thompson not in the game today. So again, who's the next guy to step up? It's been Shamir Nichols. He's had a couple plays. He's been explosive. We just saw Lamont Slade go up. Now I got 2nd down and 6 from their own 46-yard line. You mentioned 2 timeouts left to go. Let's see what they drop. Now this is kind of where you look for that play-action pass from Drew McGuire to look for Sam Martin and Nate Hatter. 2 guys that came up with 2 big drops, but let's see if they can stay with it.
Yeah, update from probably the biggest game of the week. The Bastrop Bears are currently up on the Brenham Cup 7-3 in the second quarter. Clash of the Titans in that one. It looks like there's 11 minutes to go in the second quarter, and Brenham just came up with their field goal. So 7-3 Bastrop. We'll try to monitor that game, playoff implications going on in Brenham, a couple hours away.
So again, the Glen back on the field. Let's see if they draw up the play. They're usually pretty good out of the timeout this season. 2nd and 6 from the Mustangs' 46-yard line. Lamont Slade is the back. And they put him out wide. McGuire back to pass. He's looking. And a penalty on the play. And let's see what the call is. Right guard Nick Maddox on the false start is going to push them back another 5 yards, so they're going to be now at their own, pretty much at midfield, but they'll call it the 49 officially.
It just looks like they're not on the same page right now. I mean, this Marble Falls crowd is making a difference right now, but it doesn't seem like it would be enough to make it seem where the false starts will start coming in bunches for the offense.
2nd down and 10, McGuire rolling out, looking to pass. He's got nowhere to go, and he's finally going to take off. And he's going to pick up maybe 3 on the plays. He's going to be out of bounds at the Mustangs' 48-yard line, so about a 2-yard pickup for Drew McGuire.
Now it's 3rd and 8, not exactly manageable, but not exactly out of the question. You probably need to go and look for Jarvis Henderson or Sam Martin here. We haven't seen Sam Martin get involved huge in this game so far.
3rd down and 8, from the 48-yard line. And Grizzlies would like to get on the board before halftime. Again, this Marble Falls defense has been great so far. Snap, McGuire looking to pass. Batted down. What a play on the defense.
By number 26, Elijah Todd. We've seen him make a couple plays throughout the game. None bigger than that one right there. Keeps the Glen offense off the board. Now 4th down. Now interesting call right here for Coach Shanefield. Most likely going to go with the punt. And they're going to go for the punt. Drew McGuire jogging off the field. His offense probably most likely shut out through the first half.
It's going to be the first time this season that Glen is unable to put up any points on the board unless they can get a turnover here on this punt. We also have seen some special teams tricks up Coach Shanefeld's sleeve. Let's see what they draw up here. Back to punt. Childs takes a punt. He kicks it. This one's a high one in the air. And going to take a Glen bounce. It's going to roll all the way down to the 22-yard line. So a nice punt from Derek Childs, about a 30-yard punt. And the Mustangs will get back on the field with 1:05 left to go in the first half. They're leading at 7-0.
1:05 left to go in the first half. And if you're the defense, you're just thinking you cannot give up any big plays right here. Keep everybody in front of you. Don't let anything big happen, because that's the last thing you want coming into the second half, giving up a big play.
Again, that's why famous Herm Edwards line, you played to win the game. If you looked on paper, they've lost 4 in a row in the district. Glen's won 5 in a row. I mean, you kind of try to make your own narrative, but you still got to play the game. As Wilson is going to take this one, he's going to be met by a bunch of Grizzlies. And he's going to be brought down at the 23-yard line, so no gain for Cooper Wilson.
The clock continues to run. Doesn't look like they're in a huge rush to try to score right here. They might be content with being up 7 on the district leader at halftime.
45 and counting left to go. 2nd down and 9. They actually gave Wilson 1 on the play.
Clock clicks down to about the 35-second mark.
That's right. They're going to take their time. They're going to run off one more play. There's about a 17-second difference between the play clock and the game clock. 25 seconds and counting left to go. Stripling's going to take it. Hand off again to Wilson. And he's going to break outside. That's actually Dylan Mayberry. And he's going to get about 3 yards. And that might do it for the first half. So there's 9 seconds left to go. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. 1 second. And that'll do it for the first half, as the Glen Grizzlies are shut out for the first time this season in the half, as Marble Falls has a very impressive opening half. They lead 7-0 as we head to halftime. We're going to come back to the Grizzly Band. After that, we will have our recap and talk to Coach Shanefield about a playoff berth. You're listening to Grizzlies Football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
Do you love the game of football? Wish you could be part of the action? Then become a football official. The Austin Football Officials Association is actively seeking new members to officiate games all across Central Texas. The Austin Football Chapter of TASO, the Texas Association of Sports Officials, provides a 2-year training program for new members. Taught by a crew of veteran officials. These training classes meet each Monday night from July through November and include classroom and on-field instruction. You don't need to be an ex-player or a coach to become a great official and have a memorable officiating career. As our officials will tell you, working around student athletes at all levels of football is gratifying. Plus, you'll develop lifelong friendships with other officials who share your passion for the game. Officiating football is a great way to get into and stay in shape, be a positive role model for student athletes, retain your competitive edge, and earn additional income. Visit the Austin Football Officials Association online at afoa.ws for more information. That's afoa.ws.
This is the KMAX Sports Network.
This is the KMAX Sports Network, and this is what we do.
Looking left, throws into the end. Snap again. He hits the turf, and Dennis gets it up. Cameron Wilkins
corner of the end zone.
10-5, touchdown.
Let us broadcast your team. Send an email to Merle@KMAXSports.com or Chuck at KMAXSports.com to find out how.
He's got blockers in front of him. Touchdown. 5, touchdown. Yes, sir.
It's what we do, and nobody does it better. We are KMAX Sports.
This is the KMAX Sports Network.
Welcome back to beautiful Marble Falls, Texas, where Marble Falls Mustangs are currently up on the Glen Grizzlies 7-0. Got about 26 minutes left to go in halftime. But for right now, we'll take you back out to the Glen Grizzly Band for the halftime performance. We'll come back with some analysis, some recap, and we'll talk to Coach Shanefield about a possible playoff berth for the Grizzlies.
Please welcome to the field the Grizzly Marching Band. The 2018 Glen Band Show is entitled Big Sky. This year's production features music by Aaron Cope, Billy Joel, and Edward Green. Soloist and small ensemble members this year are Mackenzie James, Quinn Paladino, Orlando Rivera, Mauricio Pena, and Ellie Slater. Music arranged by Ryan George, Ira Sammons, and Matt Powell. Drill design by Jeffrey Thompson, and visual consulting by Leon Miller. The member of the week is Josiah Eisenhower, and the section of the week is clarinet. The Glen Band and Color Guard is under the direction of Kim Shuttlesworth, Amy Suggs, Jacob Goff, and Michael Costa. Please help me welcome drum majors Mia Crane and Nicholas Moran and the Grizzly Marching Band. State Football's marching and concert contests. They were established in 2016. In the fall of 2017, the Grizzly Nation was named the Band to America. San Antonio's Super Regional across 2 bronze medals. In July, the Glen Band Wing Ensemble earned 11th place in the Texas Music Educators Association 4A State Honor Band Contest. The Grizzly Band would like to thank all the parents, coaches, and administration for their continued support of the athletes.
Vype Media is the state's most comprehensive high school sports media outlet covering UIL, private schools. Vype has been in Texas for over a decade. Visit their website at Vype, VYPETexas.com. And also pick up your Vype magazine today. Get in the game with Vype Media.
This is the KMAX Sports Network.
All right, halftime here, week number 8. Glen Grizzlies going into the half for the first time this season, being shut out as they are trailing at 7-0. Story has been the running game from Marble Falls. They've been able to get everything going, but first, cannot stop without talking about our Title I sponsor, Dreamfinder Homes. Dreamfinder Homes, now building homes from the mid-200s. This community is the perfect location for growing close with nature, living a healthy lifestyle, and creating memories with friends and family. Conveniently located along Austin's northern growth corridor, Orchard Ridge has easy access to the Leander Independent School District and many of Austin's entertainment hubs. Come check out this perfect place to call home today. Brought to you by Dreamfinder Homes, homes built to fit your lifestyle. Visit dreamfinderhomes.com/Orchard Ridge for more information. EJ, again, Marble Falls, 3 possessions, milking the clock, getting things going, but I've been very impressed by Andrew Stripling, throwing the ball from anywhere on the field, creating time, opening up the run, but he's thrown for over 130 yards so far today. The scoreboard doesn't show that, but he's been keeping this Glen offense off the field.
You know, this is why sports isn't played on paper. I mean, this team, we came into this game saying it was going to be a trap game, that Marble Falls isn't a team that we've seen have a ton of success throughout the season on the defensive side of the ball. And that's no disrespect. We're just going off of the output that we've seen and the research that we did. But this front seven is really frustrating the Glen offense. And something interesting that I thought, I have never seen Drew McGuire throwing 3 consecutive pass plays, and even it was rare last week whenever they were down by 3 scores. So Drew McGuire throwing 3 straight times, not exactly a bad thing, but not something that you've done to get to this point. And their front seven has really stuffed the run. I mean, aside from a couple of big plays from Julian Morris, they've done a good job of limiting the run game.
Absolutely, but again, we saw 2 20-yard plus runs when they run up the middle. So I think in the second half, I'm going to look for them to kind of establish things going, to run the football with Morris, with Slade. Just keep attacking. You got some big boys, and if you look, you know, our running backs are much bigger than their running backs, and we've got some size. We got to take advantage of it. But again, it all starts with the offensive line. We've seen a couple of false start penalties. We've seen just penalties all over. 6 penalties committed by this Glen offense. So you can't have that happening. They got to run the football, and they got to establish a line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's just been uncharacteristic. I mean, I think you said 5 penalties?
Yep.
5 penalties so far in the first half for the Glen offense. Something we haven't seen this season, and the only time we have seen that is games where they've struggled or the games that they've lost. That was a common theme in the McNeil game, and it almost bit them. It came back to haunt them almost in the McCallum game where there were a lot of penalties. So this team not playing how we usually see them playing. That's a really clean brand of football. I mean, smash mouth in some ways with the ways they like to run the ball. The defense, you can't be mad at all. You only gave up 7 points, and for how long you were on the field?
Yeah.
You were on the field for at least about 20 minutes of that. At least 20 minutes of the first half. So this defense is doing a good job, but now we know that they're not satisfied. You've seen them in practice. They're not satisfied with not having any turnovers thus far. So that's what I'm looking for in the second half. You're looking for the offense to establish the line of scrimmage and get the run game going. I'm going on the other side of it, saying that the defense has to get a turnover to try to change the momentum, because you're on the road. It's so much harder to play on the road, as we all know.
And Stripling threw 2 interceptions last week against Bastrop, And I mentioned to you earlier, if we look at what they were able to do last week against Bastrop, who's got a pretty aggressive defense, but if we look at the drive chart for them last week, EJ, they fumbled on the first play of the game. Then they had a 3-and-out punt, turnover on downs, 3-and-out punt, a turnover on downs, an interception, a 3-and-out punt, another interception, a turnover on downs, and then they get the touchdown at the end of the game. So, Bastrop was able to stymie this offense, and they got to be able to dial up some pressure for Glenn, get somebody home, and make some things happening. Quickly, though, let's take a break from football. And again, as we mentioned earlier, we talk about what these kids do on and off the field. We want to give some special recognitions to some players who made the varsity All-A grade honor roll. We got Nate Hatter, Keegan Moore, Drew McGuire, Sam Martin, Johnny Gwynn, Cody Bagwell, Clay Upton, Hunter Lobato, John Rosser, Matthew Hester, Manuel De Los Santos, Nicholas Maddox, and number 72, Nate Cardenas. All those guys getting it done on the field and getting it done in the classroom. Straight A's, All-A honor roll as well.
Definition of a student athlete. These guys working hard in the classroom, and you've seen them at practice. I've yet to make it out there. These guys getting up at 5 a.m. some nights.
I was out there in the rain the other day, man. I was getting soaked.
Exactly. These guys stop to nothing to try to better their game on the field, but they know what's really important and the thing that most of them look for to try to carry their futures, and that's what they do in the classroom. These guys are doing a great job, and it really shows what Coach Shanefield and what their teachers and what this entire Glenn school as a whole values, and that is academics and sports second, which is coming along very, very quickly and sooner than most people anticipated.
So we don't want to get too premature. They have 3 games left to go in the season. We know what's at stake today. Again, it's only a 7-point game. They were down by 17 at some point last week, so they have opportunity to come out and make a statement with this opening drive. But you have 3 games left. Got to win one of them to make the playoffs. I spoke to Coach Shanefield about on the cusp of making the playoffs. Let's see what he had to say.
You guys control your own destiny.
Right.
You went out, the district's yours. However, if you win on Friday night, if this is a goal, one of the goals that you guys set out to make the playoffs, how important is that goal, knowing that it's so close, but not making that the focus point of this Friday?
It's awesome because that was the number one goal when we started 2 years ago was, hey guys, if you believe it and you work this way, if you trust in the plan, you have an opportunity to compete for a playoff spot in the first year. We really believe that. And it wasn't just us peddling fool's gold and just hoping, being the Pied Piper and hoping they all follow along. I mean, I genuinely felt that way. Coach Krauskopf, our defense coordinator, original defense coordinator, still here with us, he knew that. He felt that way. He came from Atascocita in the Houston area, which is a perennial playoff team. He knows what it looks like. Coach McLean, who's now the OC at Eastview, but he was our original OC here. He came from Vandegrift. He knows what that looks like. And, we were the original 3 guys before school, opened that were able to work with our kids in the spring of 2016. And all 3 of us, I think, are of the belief and the integrity of once we got to know our kids, if that's not really attainable, then let's not sell them on a pipe dream. But we always felt it was attainable, and I feel like they also, in working with us, didn't feel like we were just blowing smoke and selling them a bill of goods. They could tell from our passion that what we were saying, and our sincerity, and then our dedication and work ethic to doing that every day, to getting down that road, that we were serious about that. And that's not just like I say, we were just pumping sunshine. It was, boys, it's going to be a long road. There's a long way to go. We're going to have to be patient. But if you follow the plan, here's the plan. Mm-hmm. We're not going to be able to accomplish it today, but you got some guys here who know what it looks like, because we've been there, done that. Yep. You got to trust that. And that's probably the thing I'm proudest of with our kids. These guys are at the varsity level right now, and if we continue, and this is a big push for us, and this was the topic of conversation at our coaches meeting on Sunday, make sure that we keep our foot on the gas pedal with our freshman kids and our sophomore kids, because I want to tell you something. Us coming back against Eastview in the second half, that is an improbable thing. the odds makers in Vegas would have said, okay, considering who Glenn is and the fact they haven't been in a situation like that at the varsity level, homecoming, all these distractions, and they're down 17 with about 5 minutes left in the third quarter against a team that's a legit playoff contender team with great players. Most guys would have given you odds that we wouldn't have been able to come back from that. Just because, I mean, that wouldn't have been crazy to assume that. But what we've told the coaches and the kids is, the reason we were able to do that in the second half is it's not all of a sudden that we just started playing harder. It's not that we made these huge adjustments. It was it's off season. It's belief in each other. It's belief in when you see the coaches not panicking and saying, you guys got this, you can get this done. We've bought and paid for that trust through work and time and care and love for each other, and they believe it. I mean, that belief is what allowed our guys to go out there and play. We believed in the plan as coaches, but at the end of the process, our players got to go out and play.
Yep.
And we're like teachers or tutors, and we can give you the information, and we can give you tips about how to utilize the information better. And then you got to go out there and play as a teenager, as a young man, and confidence and trust and loving each other has played such a huge role in that. And I think that's the secret of high school football, to be quite honest. You got to have some people that were born with a little talent. There's no question, but not everybody has to be like that to have a championship level program. And they exhibited some championship level characteristics in the second half, and when the chips were down and making big plays. So that's probably the proudest I am about any of these guys, is that I think the reason we were able to succeed in the second half was they just trust us, and they trust in each other, and they trust in the plan. And they're not perfect, and I don't want to make them sound like they are, but and neither are we as coaches. But man, we really care about each other. We care about each other enough to call each other out when we know that that's not the best effort, and we don't get our feelings hurt over that because we know it's coming from a great place and a caring place. So, man, that's really, I'm not saying we got it figured out, but I think that's where we are right now. And the beautiful thing about this deal is we got to go out this Friday and do it again.
All right, so that's Coach Shanefield talking about potential playoff berth and how hard they've worked, and it's more than just this season. They've been putting in the work, getting some of these kids from Rouse in 2015, and now here they are now, these seniors that are working hard. You got Lamont Slade, Nate Hatter, Noah Holmes, a bunch of guys, but this is a good unit, a good team that they have. Guys love each other, they care about each other, hang out off the field. You see what they do off the field, getting good grades. So it's not going to surprise me to see them put another comeback here tonight. They got to get in each other and kind of motivate each other and fight their way for this victory. And again, this is good character. This is what playoff football in Texas is going to be like in a couple of weeks if they want to get there. They got to figure out a way to fight and earn this, because right now, even though it's 7-0, Marble Falls has dominated this game.
I mean, there's no question about that. I mean, you can look at any stat from the first half, and you can easily say that Marble Falls has dominated the first half. This team is facing a way smaller deficit than they did last week, and with a much more, I think it's safe to say, a much more explosive, previously known explosive offense is the best way I can put that. Is that Eastview would come in with the leading receiver, the leading leading thrower, and the leading rusher all on the same team. So that is where I put that team was down 17. They were able to come back against that offense. Now you're at a point where you're only down 7 against a defense that has allowed points, but they were impressive in the first half. So now it's time to start to see the offense kick into gear and start to see the team that we've seen so far. But we talked about playoff implications. At halftime, Bastrop is currently up on Brenham 13-10. So we'll try to keep monitoring that game, get you guys updates, because we know that's another game that we wish we had a good side on right now.
So the next game for the Grizzlies will be a home game. Next week we're at Bible Stadium, again pregame at 7 o'clock next Friday, November 2nd. We're already into November, EJ, which is getting towards the end of it. Week number 9 next week. Kickoff will be 7:30 as the Brenham Cubs will travel a long ways to come to play the Glen Grizzlies. And hopefully that's what was happening to Glen, that long commute for them to get over here. Hopefully they've shaken it off and they're back to get going. We got Jarvis Henderson and Sam Martin, they're kind of looking pretty good. They're looking loose out there, and they're ready to get things going for this second half.
Yeah, I'd like to see that there's no panic in this team. We never saw any overwhelmingly frustrating emotions from the Glen Grizzlies throughout the first half. Obviously, you wish they could put points on the board. You wish that you could have kept them off the board. But there's no panic in this team. They know what they're capable of, and they're confident they can try to make a run here in the second half.
All right, so here we go. EJ, we'll put 12 minutes on the clock for the third quarter. It'll be Logan Barnes kicking deep for this Glen offense as they're down the hole. They're down 0-7 as they're awaiting the opening kickoff of the third quarter. As Barnes will back up. And they'll get ready. Right-footed kicker is Barnes. We're going to go left to right on your radio. On the kick, line drive kick. It's going to be caught by Jarvis Henderson at the 15. He's going to get across to the 20, turn upfield to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 15, 10. Touchdown! Jarvis Henderson takes the opening kickoff, and there's a flag on the play. Oh, man.
Most likely coming back, but we saw that in the booth. I had to hold my breath right there because I saw that there was a huge hole that was opened up. Sam Martin had a great block.
So it's probably coming back.
It is coming back.
Penalties. Jarvis Henderson got the ball to the 20-yard line, darted across the field, turned upfield, and took it all the way to the house for a touchdown, but is called back on a holding penalty. Now Glen's going to start all the way at their own 20-yard line. That's exactly what Glen needed, and another big penalty on this team. Of course, sometimes the penalty, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't open up that hole, but nonetheless, the sixth penalty of the game for the Glen Grizzlies.
And it's just costing them field position at this point. Ball starting at 25, so not terrible field position. But again, we're going to start to see Morris looks like he's going to check in. We're going to have to see if they're going to stick with the run game, which has been their trademark so far this season.
1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. The give is to Morris. Bounces up the middle, pushing his way, trying to get to the 25-yard line. And forward progress is going to put him at the 25. 5-yard pickup for Julian Morris on first down. And that's what all you want. 5-5 first down. 5-5 first down. Keep getting those chunks.
There is a flag on the play again.
So a face mask on the play is going to be a 15-yard penalty against Marble Falls. That's going to move Glen 15 yards forward. So now they got the ball at the 20-yard line. The 40-yard line, excuse me. 20-yard pickup when it's all said and done. So that's the third penalty, 40 yards for Marble Falls. Snap. Nichols takes it to the outside. He's trying to turn upfield. He gets to the 40, to the 45, and he's brought down. And that looked like that might have been a horse collar, but he's brought down at the 46-yard line. A 6-yard pickup for Shamir Nichols.
Ben Anderson again on the tackle for Marble Falls. We've seen him make a couple of tackles in the secondary, not allowing Shamir Nichols, Roderick Stubblefield, Julian Morris, not allowing those guys to get outside to try to break big plays.
So 2nd and 4, they actually give him 6 on the play. 2nd and 4 from their own 46. They need midfield for the first down. The give is to Nichols. Breaks a tackle. Spins off another guy. Keeps spinning. Keeps going. But he's going to lose a yard on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5 as Shamir Nichols is trying to make something happen.
Yeah, doing his best to try to make something out of nothing again right there. Bounced off one guy. Thought he was going to be able to break it off as soon as he got around the pile. But Jet Huffman was right there on the stop for Marble Falls.
10:25 and counting left to go in the third quarter. Mustangs lead at 7-0. Grizzlies have 3rd and 5 from their own 45. Shotgun snap. McGuire fumbles the football. He's got to fall on top of it, and he's unable to take it. They were trying to roll McGuire out to the left, and he started going a little too soon. And that's going to bring up 4th down and another punt for this Grizzly offense.
This offense just isn't clicking right now. I mean, there's something that's going on within the huddle because these guys, there have been a couple of missed play calls. There have been some drop snap right there. We've seen the penalties. Something that has to give inside the offensive huddle for Glen because so far nothing productive is coming out of these plays.
More miscues for the Grizzlies as now Childs hits a punt, not his best punt, but see if it takes a bounce, and it does. As it's continuing to roll, it's going to roll inside the 30-yard line, and it's going to be downed at the 28 yard line. So a 32-yard punt for Derek Childs, and the Mustangs will take the field for the first time in the second half, and they'll take over from their own 28-yard line.
I mean, on the scoring drive for Marble Falls, we've seen them go 11 plays for 59. 4 plays for 5 isn't going to get it done in the second half, and that's what Glenn has been consistently doing. I mean, not huge yardage coming out of these plays.
So Wilson in the backfield next to Stripling. It'll be 1st and 10, and Stripling's going to roll out on his own. He's going to fire on the run. He's going to hit Barker, who was brought down by Noah Holmes at the 37-yard line. So a 9-yard pickup. He'll bring up 2nd down and 1.
We talked about it during the halftime break, in that Stripling has all day to throw. I mean, we haven't even seen him take a traditional drop back yet. He can take 10, 15, 20, whatever he wants to take back there, because he has a ton of time to throw the football.
2nd and 1 from the Mustangs' 37-yard line. The give is to Barker. He's going to be pushed back. He's met by 5 Grizzlies. Leading the way was number 49, Matthew Hester. He's going to lose a couple on that play. The ball's going to be marked down at the 35-yard line, so a 3-yard loss on the play.
Matthew Hester, one of the leaders on that defensive line, along with Jeff Francis, Daiku, and Callan Guyton.
Barker remains in the backfield. 3 wide receivers out to the left, 1 to the near side. Shotgun snap, Stripling rolls out to the right. He's looking to throw, and the ball's going to be short. So great defense there by Johnny Gwynn, as he was looking for Luke Nail on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3 and out. A very important defensive stand by the Grizzlies here. 3 and out.
Exactly what you wanted right there for the defense. Your offense not getting the production it wants early. The only thing you can do, the only thing you can control, is giving the ball back, giving them as many possessions in the second half, because that's what it's going to take to try to leapfrog them over, get a lead, and try to come out with a win.
7 yards on that drive for Marble Falls. Ball's kicked, line drive, punt, and it's going to bounce. And Martin's going to keep letting it bounce. It's going to roll all the way inside the 20. And it's going to be picked up at the 17-yard line. So what a punt there from Logan Barnes.
Barnes has been an asset for the Mustangs in terms of the field position game. He hasn't given an easy field to work with for the offense when he has been called upon.
A 47-yard punt for Logan Barnes. And Sam Martin, you kind of think, took a couple high bounces. You might want to pick that up and get running with it. But nonetheless, they're going to take over at their own 18. The second drive of the game of the half for the Grizzlies. Julian Morris, the running back, in there. They bring Stubblefield in motion. Morris to the outside, across the 15, to the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Out of bounds for Julian Morris. They'll mark him out at the 40-yard line. That's a 22-yard pickup for Julian Morris.
We talked about it during halftime off the air, in which we're talking about what the offense can do to try to get going in the second half. And you said it. I mean, misdirection, that can be helpful, especially when you're struggling on offense. But go with what's working for you. And so far what's working for you is Julian Morris going right up the gut and forcing them to stop him.
1st down and 10 from their own 40-yard line. Give again is to Morris. He's going to push nowhere on the play. He's actually going to lose a yard. They'll mark him at the 39-yard line. So a loss on the play to bring up 2nd down, 10 and a half, we'll call it. So let's see if we get a little Ron Stubblefield here. They're going to go 3 wide to the left. Hatter, Stubblefield, and Martin.
Hatter again, isolated in the slot.
Henderson, lone receiver on the right side. Lamont Slade will move to the left of McGuire. McGuire's back to pass. He's going to hit Sam Martin as a screen pass to the 40. Pushing his way. He's going to be out of bounds at the 41-yard line. So a 1-yard pickup for Sam Martin. Drew McGuire took a little too long to get that ball out.
Ethan Kenko was on the stop for the Mustangs, and you said it, Drew McGuire. Seemed like that play took a little too long to develop. You saw Nate Hatter trying to pick up his block downfield, but by then the defenders already had read the play. Screen blows up.
Big 3rd down and 9 for the Grizzlies. They need midfield for the 1st down. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. McGuire rolling out to the left. He's looking. He's throwing high. Nate Hatter picks the ball up. He's fighting his way. Does he have a 1st down? And he does. They're going to mark him out of bounds inside of Mustang territory. They're going to mark them a yard short, it looks like. So it's going to be 4th down and 1 from the Grizzly 49-yard line. Great effort there by Nate Hatter.
9-yard pickup and decision time for Coach Shanefield to see if he wants to take a chance with how your offense is rolling right now. You have a bruiser. You do have Julian Morris, and he is in the game.
They got Julian Morris and Lamont Splade.
Splade.
He needs to splade his way through some of these holes. Let's see what we got here. 7:18 to go, and timeout is called. It's going to be a timeout, Glenn, their first timeout of the half. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back. You're listening to Grizzlies Football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
Vype Media is the state's most comprehensive high school sports media outlet, covering UIL, private schools. Vype has been in Texas for over a decade. Visit their website at Vype, VYPETexas.com. And also pick up your Vype magazine today. Get in the game with Vype Media.
This is Lamont Slade, running back.
44-yard touchdown for Lamont Slade as he ran right up the gut.
And you're listening to Grizzly Football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
This is the KMAX Sports Network.
7:18 left to go in the third quarter. Grizzlies looking at a very important 4th down and 1 as Coach Rob Shanefield has called a timeout as Nate Hatter coming through on 3rd down. Big 9-yard pickup to get the ball to the 49-yard line. Maybe not the best of spots in the world, but nonetheless, the ball is in front of the 49-yard line. They need midfield for the first down. Let's see what Coach Shanefield draws up here on this 4th and 1 play. They need a first down to keep this drive going. Give Morris pushing his way. He's got the first down and more. He's inside the 40, inside the 30, pushing his way. He's going to be marked down at the 28-yard line, a 29-yard pickup for Julian Morris.
Exactly. It was a good timeout by Coach Shanefield right there, making sure everybody's on the same page, dialing up a play for their bruiser, Julian Morris. He gets across inside the 30. Good big play right there for the offense.
9 carries, 104 yards for Julian Morris. That's his 3rd 100-yard game of the season. They give us to Slade, pushing his way, trying to bounce, and he falls down. And he is down at the 28, so he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Again, Julian Morris, heart and soul of this running game, came into today's game with 561 yards. He's got 104, so he's already at 665 on the season. Morris and Slade next to McGuire in the backfield. Wide receivers on both sides. Shotgun, give. Push back, that's actually Nichols, as he's fighting his way, and they'll give him the 30-yard line, so they'll give him a little forward progress on the play.
Big Josh White calling again on the stop for Marble Falls. And he was mad at himself right there because he felt he got a hand on the ball. He's trying to strip the ball of the carrier right there. Good job by Lamont Slade to hold on to that ball.
3rd down and 1, empty backfield for the Grizzlies. Double wide receivers on each side. Slade in the backfield, 3rd and 12. Snap, low snap. McGuire picks it up, fires it across the field. He's going to hit Henderson, who's going to push his way and get maybe to the 26. So a 4-yard pickup. It'll bring up 4th down and 8. Again, McGuire struggling with some of those snaps. They've been really low from Jacob Trim.
This is a tough call for Coach Shanefield right here because you are on that side of the field, so that is not an issue. The issue is that this would be a 48-yard field goal for Pedro Soto, and that's just outside the tip of his range, but they are going to go for it on 4th down.
4th down and 8. They need a big play. 3 wide receivers out to the left. McGuire's going to roll to the left. He's looking for something to develop. He's going to throw out of bounds as Sam Martin makes the catch, but he was pushed out of bounds. What an effort there, but that ball was a little bit there, but it's a flag on the play. And it'll be holding on the offense. That penalty is going to be declined. And now Marble Falls is going to take over from their own 26-yard line.
Evan Croce was on the stop for the defense, number 10. The defensive back made a good play on the ball, forced Sam Martin to try to make a miraculous catch, and he did exactly that. Forced him to try to get on his toes, wasn't able to drag him. And Marble Falls offense gets back onto the field. This has been a really impressive defensive showing from this Marble Falls defense. some thought maybe the weak point of this team. The offense we knew could score in bunches, but the defense was the one that was usually letting people back in games.
I got to see what's going on in the middle of the field and see if they can get some crossing routes or some dig routes, because they've been trying to go to the sidelines and they've been doing a great job. Pressure there on Stripling. He throws a deep ball. And no call on the play as he was looking for Brock Linder deep. Alec Townsley on the coverage, but Stripling finally got some pressure, and he had to throw that one on his back foot, and he still almost made the play.
I mean, not exactly making the comparison to Tom Brady to Stripling. I mean, Stripling's a high school quarterback, but it's the same thing. Is when you have a chance against a guy like that, when you can put pressure on him, that's when he is in his element, and when he is in his groove. It's when he has a clean pocket to throw in, and when you force pressure on him and force him to make quick decisions, and that can lead to a turnover.
5:06 left to go in the third quarter. Mustangs lead at 7-0. Stripling back to pass on second down. He hits Linder, who's across the 30, fighting his way. Looks like he's going to have a first down as he's going to be marked down at the 37-yard line. So an 11-yard pickup and a first down by Brock Linder.
And I don't know if Stripling checked to that out of the huddle, because Glenn brought pressure on the last one. It seemed like they had 8 guys on the bog, and they sent a big pressure right there, so they counteracted it perfectly with a wide receiver screen on the far sideline. And that's exactly what you want to do. If you have a team that likes to bring pressure like Glenn, you beat him with the short passes.
6 catches, 95 yards for Brock Linder in this one. Fake the give. Stripling back to pass. He's got pressure. He's rolling out to his right. He's going to get going. He's across the 45. He's going to be out of bounds at the 40. Where are they marking him? At the 45-yard line, out of bounds. So a 3-yard pickup for Andrew Stripling.
This offense is just moving and gaining yards in chunks right now. Stripling playing probably one of his best games of the season. We haven't been able to see him in person, but on paper he's having a whale of a football game so far.
So the ball is now at the 45-yard line. Looks like it's a second down and 3 maybe. Stripling back to pass, gives it, gonna take it himself. He's met by a bunch of Grizzlies at the 46-yard line. So a 1-yard pickup on 2nd and 2. It's gonna bring up 3rd down and short for the Mustangs.
Derek Childs was one of the Grizzlies that was there to meet him at the line of scrimmage, and now it looks like they'll have to push over for maybe half a yard.
So Stripling is in at shotgun. 3 running backs now. They're gonna try to have a power play here. He's on the center. Give, pushes him back. Does he have a first down? He does, as he's all the way at the 49-yard line. Andrew Stripling with the quarterback sneak, like Tom Brady. A 3-yard pickup and a first down for the Mustangs.
And you start to feel the energy of this crowd. You see the student section down in the front row for Marble Falls. They know what kind of team that Glenn is. They know they came in with a 5-game winning streak, and Marble Falls, maybe a little too late for them to start making a run for the playoffs, but if they can spoil a team like Glenn and try to make it hard for them to win the district, that would be just as good for them.
Wilson in the backfield, 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line. Fake the give, Stripling back to pass. He's got all sorts of time. He's got a little bit of pressure. He rolls out. He's got nowhere to go. He's looking to gain a couple of yards, and he's going to smartly run out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
So it looks like he'll lose 2 on the play.
2 on the play.
And again, he had all sorts of time right there. It seems like nobody is picking him up. They're too worried about what he can do with his arm, but leaving him alone to try to do damage with his legs may not be the better option.
2nd down and 12 for Marble Falls. As they're trying to get the play in the huddle. Wilson, the lone back. 2nd and 12 from their own 47. They need the Grizzly 41 for a first down. Snap, give is to Wilson. He's going to push up the middle, and he is met by Lee Pollock and De Los Santos on the tackle.
Lee Pollock making a play when it counted right there, got into the backfield and didn't let Wilson get around to try to make any sort of play. As soon as he touched the ball, he was wrapped up. Good play right there by Pollock.
And De Los Santos on the tackle. So 3rd down and 14 now. See if the Grizzlies can make a big 3rd down stop.
I mean, coming into this game, you see these two offenses, you see the type of numbers they put up. You're expecting a shootout and putting it on the defense to try to make the play of the game. 7-0 stalemate right now.
They're down at 14. Stripling from the shotgun. Wilson with him in the backfield. 2 wide receivers on each side. Stripling back to pass. He's looking, surveying the field. He's got a little bit of pressure. He's going to be flushed out. And Brian Creel is going to try to wrap him out. Not able to make the tackle. And he's going to be marked down at the Grizzly 43-yard line. So not enough for a first down. It's going to bring up fourth down and about 2. Let's see the Mustangs go for it. They are going to hurry up and come to the line of scrimmage. Right now, Stripling's from the shotgun. And they're taking their time as Dyke almost jumped off sides. 18 seconds left to go on the play clock. 2:02 on the regular clock. 7-0 Mustangs lead it. They have the ball at the Grizzly 43-yard line. Fourth down and 2. And so they're going to try to go a hard count and get the Grizzlies to come off sides. And they are going to call a timeout. So Grizzlies don't jump. Great job by them as Stripling try to go with the hard count and see if they try to punt back and pin the Grizzlies back, which has worked so far.
Good coaching move from Coach Shanefield, in my opinion, on that last one. Making sure you saw him as far as he could. I mean, he already has a sideline warning on that side, but you saw him. He knows exactly what to expect in the situation. Offensive guy, offensive lineman specifically, because he knows what the offense is trying to do in that situation. But for me, Coach Mike Burwell, I thought he was actually going to run a play. With the way your offense is moving the ball right now, 2 yards hasn't been something that has been difficult for you to gain. And you're on that side of the field. Your defense is pitching a shutout right now. I thought it was the perfect situation to go for it right there and try to take the air out of the Glenn Sales.
Well, the way that this huddle is going, it looks like they are going to go for it. They just want to draw a better play. And to me, the play is to go quarterback sneak with Stripling. I mean, it's worked. They've been able to push him back, but it looks like the offense is going to come back on the field right now.
It's probably the biggest.
It's going to be a punt. So Barnes is out to punt.
And Sam Martin will be back to return.
That's out. Townsley actually back to return. So Townsley can get something going. I mean, they got to try to get a return going. They got one with Jarvis Henderson, but he was brought back on a holding penalty. So Barnes standing at his own 45-yard line looking to punt. Ball is up. It's a line drive punt. And it's going to take a bounce inside the 20. He's going to roll out of bounds at the 14-yard line. So again, Marble Falls doing a great job of pinning this Grizzly offense really far back and forcing them to go the length of the field, which they haven't been able to do yet.
I mean, 86 yards to go on the offense. That is just demoralizing in itself because you see how far it is, and that starts to get in your head. I mean, we've seen the offense, usually when it's rolling good, it's usually when the defense is giving them the 35, the 40, sometimes the 25, those type of field position to work with. And now you're working from the 10s, the 5s, the 15s. That isn't exactly what you want to start with.
All right, so 1:35 left to go in the third quarter. Mustangs lead at 7-0 as the Grizzlies will start from their own 14. Morris in the backfield. They bring Stubblefield in motion. They give it to him. He's going to roll the outside, looking to turn up field. He's got it. 20-yard line, going to the 25, still going. Pushed out of bounds at about the 29-yard line. They're going to say the 28. They'll say the 28-yard line, 27-yard line. A 13-yard pickup for Roderick Stubblefield.
Maybe he's the unsung hero of this game. Maybe he's the spark that his offense needs. And usually that's what Coach Shanefield looks to him for, try to provide a spark for the offense when they're not rolling how they would like to.
First down for the Grizzlies. Got the ball. They're 28. Morris now pushing his way, trying to fight through. And he's going to get out to the 30-yard line. So a 2-yard pickup for Julian Morris. It'll bring up second down and 8.
Carlos De La Hoya was on the tackle for the Marble Falls Mustangs. The defensive lineman, him and Wycon have done a really good job of trying to contain these running backs and not letting them get consistently big chunk yardage.
Second down and 8 from their own 30. Less than a minute to go. 58 seconds left in the third quarter. 2 wide receivers on each side for Drew McGuire. Snap. He's back to pass. He gets rid of it quickly. Hits Henderson at the 35. Henderson finding his way all the way out of bounds, and they're going to mark him out at the 44-yard line. A 14-yard pickup and a first down for Jarvis Henderson.
These are the type of yardage plays that you like to see the offense try to move forward with. I mean, 46 seconds left to go in the third quarter. You'd like to see this type of tempo carry on into the fourth quarter, the most important quarter, especially in this type of stalemate of a game.
Absolutely. So you see Henderson is a quick release. Great job there from McGuire to get the ball to him. Henderson out of bounds, so clock does stop. First and 10 from their own 44. The give now is to the outside as it's Stubblefield trying to get across, and he is brought down at the 46-yard line. So a 2-yard pickup for Stubblefield. That'll bring up second down and 8.
Reese Van Hoos went along for the ride with Grundrick Stubblefield right there. Stubblefield carried him for a couple extra yards. He was able to twirl him and throw him down to the ground near the near sideline around the 47-yard line.
Julian Morris in at running back. It'll be Sam Martin and Stubblefield out to the left. Henderson out to the right with Nate Hatter in the slot. McGuire rolls. He's looking for Hatter. He's got him at midfield. Makes the catch. Pushing his way down. And he is down at the 45-yard line inside of Mustangs territory. There's a 9-yard pickup for Nate Hatter.
I mean, he might not like it because it doesn't sound as manly, but I call Nate Hatter the safety blanket. Because every single time you need him, and especially in short yardage situations, he's usually the first guy that Drew McGuire likes to go to.
EJ Sanchez standing up here, getting excited. Ball is at the Mustang 45-yard line, 1st and 10 to go. Snap, McGuire, back to pass. He's looking. He's got nowhere to go. He's taking his time. He's going to try to turn upfield. He's got nowhere to go. Throws on the run, and it's just short as he was looking for Sam Martin coming back across the field. An incomplete pass to bring up 2nd down and 10.
Drew McGuire trying to make it the best out of that play. Nothing developed on the first cut, so he rolled out to his non-throwing arm, tried to roll out, make a play. Nothing was there. Almost hit Sam Martin, but wasn't throwing hard enough. He was throwing across his body, though, so obviously not going to get as much power.
14 seconds left to go in the third quarter. 2nd down and 10 from the Mustang 45-yard line. McGuire, Morris. Slade actually pushes his way, gets out. Forward progress to the 43-yard line. So a 2-yard pickup is going to bring up 3rd down and 8, and that'll be the last play of the third quarter. We'll head to the fourth quarter. Mustangs lead at 7-0. You're listening to Grizzlies football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
We hope you're enjoying tonight's broadcast. At KMAX Sports, we work hard to provide quality professional broadcasts to make it easier for the booster clubs with whom we work to find sponsorships. We ask that you please patronize these advertisers and thank them for supporting your team's broadcasts. You can help your booster club fund the broadcast by simply clicking on the donate button on KMAXSports.com. And if you're a fan of the other school, you can show your appreciation for tonight's broadcast by making a donation as well. Thank you in advance for your support. And now, let's take you back out to the game.
This is the KMAX Sports Network.
Week number 8, I believe EJ Sanchez, you told me one time the fourth quarter is called money time, if I believe so. So we're in money time now. 7-0 Mustangs lead it against the Grizzlies. They're driving. They have a very important 3rd down and 8 from their Mustangs 43-yard line. This drive started at their own 18-yard line. They've been moving the ball.
This is the type of sustained drive that we were asking for coming out of the second half. Only problem is now you wasted a complete quarter, and now it's this last 12 minutes that's going to come down to decide this game.
Absolutely. So we got a 3rd down and 8. McGuire rolling out, looking to pass, throws it to Anderson. He can't come up with the play. As Henderson.
Looks like that was Shamir Nichols.
Shamir Nichols, as the ball was thrown a little bit behind him, he had to come back for it. That's going to bring up 4th down, but Glenn is going for it here.
Biggest player of the game, bar none, right here. And Shamir Nichols knows he could have made that catch, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Drew McGuire come back to him right here on this 4th down.
4th down and 8 from the Mustang 43-yard line. They need a 35 for 1st down. Snap. McGuire rolls out. He's looking for somebody. Fakes a pass. He's throwing. Look, he's going to run for it. Inside the 40. Does he have it? They're going to mark him down at the 35. That should be enough for a 1st down, although they're saying he's going to be short on the play. He's going to come up just a half a yard short. What an effort by Drew McGuire, but just not enough as Marble Falls would take over and down. This is the time where you wish that we had instant replay and we can get a spot check on that.
Yeah, it seemed like a little bit of a shallow spot right there from the far side official. Coach Shanefield asking for an explanation, and it looks like the one he is getting right now is that Drew's knee went down about a yard and a half before the 1st down marker. It seemed like the ball got there, but I don't think the rest got there.
So the drive stalls as they get all the way to the 36-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs from their own 36. Give is to Wilson. He's looking to turn upfield. He's going to hit his own man, and he's going to be pushed down at the 38-yard line. So a 2-yard pickup for Cooper Wilson.
First Grizzly defender there was Keegan Moore, a guy that we've seen improve a lot and start to make a couple of big plays on the defensive side of the ball for the Grizzlies.
And Grizzlies defense, can they come up with another stop? So far they've been money here in the second half. 2nd down and 8. Looking to bring pressure now. Snap. And might have a false start on the play.
Plays whistled dead.
Yeah, you saw. So they said the left guard, Braden Whiteside, on the false start. That helps the Grizzlies. They'll bring it back 2nd down and 13 as the ball is pushed back to the Mustang 33-yard line.
And it just seems like every second is a minute when you look over at that scoreboard and you see that Glenn is running out of time to try to get this offense going and try to make the same kind of comeback that they made last week. They only have 7 points that they have to make up.
Yeah, another touchdown for Marble Falls might do it. Stripling fakes it, throws deep, he's looking for Linder. Does he have him? No! Just missed it as Noah Holmes dropped back in coverage, and he was going deep for Linder, and again, Stripling throwing off that incredible arm.
Yeah, almost about a 50-yard throw right there from Stripling. And Noah Holmes did a good job not putting his hands on him at the back end of that play. You saw him throw his hands up at the end, and it looked like Lindor might have had a step on him.
He did.
Overthrown by Stripling, but again, showing off that arm. Good job by Noah Holmes, though, to try to stay on that play, force some pressure.
3rd down and 12, you got to be careful. You see Cervantes in the game now at linebacker, because Stripling can easily take off and pick this up himself. So 3rd down and 12 from their own 39-yard line. Low snap, Stripling facing pressure. He's going to throw a screen pass, and it's caught all the way by Wilson. He's pushing his way into Grizzly territory. Wow, Stripling had pressure, and he dumped it off to Wilson. And Glenn was not ready for that one as he takes it all the way down to the Grizzly 41-yard line.
And it seemed like they went to their so-called nickel right there.
A 20-yard pickup.
Put another defensive back in the game. Now Jeff Francis Daiku coming back in. And the Mustangs know that they're on the verge of trying to ice this game away. They know they're on this side of the field. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of running plays in a row right here.
10:09 and counting left to go in the game. Mustangs lead at 7-0. Snap, Stripling gives it to Wells. And they're going to mark Wells down inside the 40. He's at the 39-yard line. So 2-yard pickup by Hayden Wells.
Now the defense, the whole bend don't break mentality still has to be in place, but it has to be with a smaller score. Usually bend don't break is usually when you're giving up the 25-30s, but you're still coming through and it counts. Right now you've only given up 7, but you still need to come through for your team. When you're on this part of the field, a field goal is out of the question. If you can limit these next 2 plays and get off the field, that'd be huge and at least give your offense a chance to try to come back and tie this game.
White Cotton in the backfield along with Hayden Wells. Stripling from a shotgun set, 2nd and 8 from the Grizzly 39. Fakes a give, he's going to take off himself, and he runs up the middle, and he's met by a few Grizzlies, but he's going to get close to the 1st down. He's going to be about 1.5 yards short. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 2 as he got to the Grizzly 33-yard line on the play, a 6-yard pickup.
We talked about it last time when they got in this situation that you're most likely looking for a Stripling quarterback sneak again. But it looks like he's going to be lining up in the shotgun.
2 wide receivers on each side for Stripling. Wilson in the White Cotton in the backfield, believe it or not. And he was trying to go a hard count there. 8 seconds left to go on the play clock. 5 seconds left to go. He's trying to move White Cotton around. They might gonna have to call a timeout. 2 seconds, 1 second. Do they get it off in time? They say they do. And pass is thrown deep. And no catch. As Linder thought he got a foot down in bounds. He didn't. Another great pass for Stripling, but just off the target. It's gonna should bring up 4th down.
Good job by Townsend right there, forcing him out of bounds. The same thing that happened to Sam Martin in the beginning of this half.
Absolutely. 4th down. We're trying to figure out what's going on with the scoreboard. It'll be 4th down and about 3.
This will be huge right here in a momentum shifting play if the defense can get off the field. They have to know, though, the hard count is possible right here. But when you overcompensate for the hard count, you're not able to get off the ball quickly for a run play.
4th down here. And again, Stripling going with those hard counts, and they're going to call a timeout again as it's 4th down and 2 from the 33-yard line. And 8:30 left to go in the fourth quarter. Mustangs lead at 7-0. We'll be back on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
Vype Media is the state's most comprehensive high school sports media outlet covering UIL, private schools. Vype has been in Texas for over a decade. Visit their website at Vype, VYPETexas.com. And also pick up your Vype magazine today. Get in the game with Vype Media.
This is head football coach Rob Shainfeld, and you're listening to Grizzlies football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
All right, we're back. Fourth quarter, 8:30 left to go in the clock. This Grizzly defense, they've done a good job. And they gave up the touchdown run to Stripling in the second quarter, and they haven't given up anything since. A lot of bend, don't break. There's a missed field goal by Logan Barnes in the game, but right now they're looking at a 4th and 2 from the Grizzly 33. They're going to try to dial up something, see if they can stop this play. They brought in Whitecott, and he's in on the left side. Wilson in the backfield, along with Hayden Wells. And looks like we're ready to go on this 4th down play. Wilson out of the backfield. Stripling's going to take it himself. He's going to throw it. He's got a pass all the way to Barker. Barker's going to be out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Everybody's sold out for the run. And they go to the outside in the flat for the first down.
Beautifully called play right there by Coach Mike Birdwell. When you sell out on the run, it opens up that little pass off into the flat. He made sure Barker made sure he had it. Turned upfield for a big gain. 8:23 left to go in the fourth quarter.
Barker gets down to the 15-yard line. That's a 17-yard pickup.
Again, while the offense is on the field, of course, we got to talk about the defense. This defense had 2 sacks coming into this week, and they're pitching a shutout against one of the best offenses in the district.
Absolutely. Anything can happen on a Friday night in Texas. Stripling going to take it himself. He's pushing inside the 5-yard line, and he's going to score for a touchdown. And the Mustangs lead it 13-0 here at Mustang Field. This Glen defense gives up another touchdown to Stripling. 13-0 pending the extra point. 8:16 left to go in the fourth quarter.
I mean, this defense, you can't ask for much more from them. They've played a great game so far, and you're doing your best to try to force a turnover. And sometimes when you're overcompensating for that, when you're trying to make a play, it doesn't end up too well. And again, a 2-touchdown game right now.
Barnes on to kick the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good. So with 8:16 left to go in the fourth quarter, Andrew Stripling runs for 15 yards and a touchdown. The Mustangs lead it 14-0 as Glenn is getting ready to take the ball with 8:16 left to go. Again, this defense, as you mentioned, EJ, been solid all night, but they can't, the quarterback, and even Coach Shainfeld said it on the pregame show, some of the good players, you can't stop them every time. They're going to get theirs. You just have to limit it, and they've done a good job of limiting Stripling. But that kid is just way too talented. This is, in my opinion, EJ, this is the best quarterback we've seen all season.
I mean, there's no doubt about that. Most talented quarterback from an athletic standpoint. But again, this defense has done the best job they can. But again, if you look at 14 points at the end of the game, you're not mad at it. The only thing you're mad at is the offense has pitched a goose egg so far.
Let's see this offense can get going. Jarvis Henderson took one all the way to the house, and there's a penalty to bring it back. So looking for a big return out of him. And I wonder if that'll affect how Barnes kicks off, as he's going to be looking to kick deep to Henderson, as we got a little something going on with the referees as they're trying to figure out what's going on with Coach Shainfeld. Coach Shainfeld talking to the line judge and the umpire, trying to get something on point. I think we're ready to go, and I guess there's going to be a penalty, a 5-yard penalty, probably assessed from the kickoff, because it looks like Barnes is getting ready to kick off from his own 40, from the Grizzly 45.
Now, the position you're in, you're obviously not looking for an onside kick right here, but it will take the ball out of the hands, most likely, of Henderson and Martin.
See what Barnes does here. And also, I mean, if they want to ice the game, why not go for an onside kick? Let's see what they do from the 45.
as Barnes is now, he's moving all the way back. We haven't seen him move this far back for a kick all night. Barnes set to kick off. Kick that's going to go in the end zone, and Martin's going to take it out of the end zone, and he's going to get to the 15-yard line. A tough play by Sam Martin. If you get the touchback there, the ball's at the 25. Try to make something happen. You don't need a hero ball in that situation.
You gotta respect Sam for trying to make a play when his team desperately needs one. But when you're backed up, your momentum's already going back. A line drive kick, and your momentum's already going backwards, and you're in the middle of the end zone. Probably not the smartest decision to try to take it out.
So they're going to take over from inside the 20. That seems to be the theme so far for the Grizzlies all day, taking over the ball, backed up in their own territory. It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 16. They're down 2 scores, 8:11 left to go in the fourth quarter. McGuire's back to pass, taking his time. He's pushed out of the pocket. He's got nowhere to go, and he's fighting his way, and he's finally going to throw it away. And again, Marble Falls starting to really drop some pressure against Drew McGuire because they know these are passing situations. 2nd and 10.
The coverage in the secondary all night from Marble Falls has been nothing short of spectacular. I mean, they've really limited Drew's ability to throw the ball down the field and try to get Henderson and try to get Sam, try to get some isolation on the near sidelines. They haven't been able to do that all night.
Absolutely. So 2nd down and 10 from their own 16. Did they move the ball back again? Is there a penalty? No, the ball's still at the 16. Okay.
That's why it's so much harder in the NFL and in college to try to pick division games and conference games, because these two teams know each other so well. It's going to come down to execution.
2nd down and 10. Snap. McGuire back to pass. He's got a little bit of time. He's looking down the field. He's looking for Jarvis Henderson, and he's got him all the way down. Still on his feet at the 20. 15, 10. Touchdown, Jarvis Henderson. No flag on the play. Glenn back into this one. Drew McGuire with a bomb to Jarvis Henderson. 84 yards, the longest play of the season. Glenn back in this one. 14-6.
I mean, what do I know? I was talking earlier in the game about Drew being a precision passer, usually putting it right on the money, and not usually stretching the field. Put all of that to rest, because Drew showed off how good his arm can be. Dropped back and just put it perfectly in the hands of Jarvis Henderson. And Jarvis Henderson made a big play. Good job staying on his feet, keeping his balance. And this game is not over yet.
84 yards kick from Soto is up, and it is good, and we got ourselves a ball game. 7:50 left to go in this one. 14-7. Mustangs lead it. You're listening to Grizzlies football on the K-Max Sports Vype Media Network.
This is the K-Max Sports Network, and this is what we do.
Looking left, throws into the end zone. Snap again, he hits the turf, and Dallas scoops up Cameron Williams.
On the end zone. 10-5, touchdown.
If you like the sound of that, then let us broadcast your team. Send an email to merle@kmaxsports.com or chuck@kmaxsports.com to find out how. Bringing your teams to you since 2003. It's what we do. We are K-Max Sports.
This is the K-Max Sports Network.
7:50 left to go in this one. Jarvis Henderson, an 84-yard connection with Drew McGuire to make this a one-score game. Again, when you think Glenn is down, they come right back. Beautiful drive, 2 plays, 84 yards. 14-7, 7:50 to go as they're getting ready to kick off. And that bench on the Glen side, they're going crazy. So is their crowd. Hopefully this is the energy jolt they needed. Soto, kickoff left to right on your radio, and he booms this one as it's caught at the 10-yard line. Going to be returned back. Nice return, getting across the 30. And a nice return by number 2, Tommy Johnson, as he gets all the way out to the 31-yard line. That's a 21-yard return on the play.
I mean, it wasn't a sustained drive to get the defense the rest they needed, but the defense is back on the field. And if you have anything left, you're hoping that you only have to come out on the field maybe 2 more times. You're hoping that this is the last time you have to play, and you have to empty the tank right here because you have to get out the field because your offense has the jolt it was looking for.
The problem is they scored so quick, so they didn't have much time to rest on that last time out. But hopefully they got a jolt. Stripling back to pass. He's got his own 30-yard line. Gives to Wilson, who's pushed around, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose a couple on the play. A 2-yard loss from Cooper Wilson is going to bring up 2nd down and 12 for the Mustangs.
Keegan Moore playing very well in this game, getting in the backfield very consistently, and it was Brian Creel, who I have knowledge they call him a headhunter, or one of his nicknames on the team. He was the one that came in and finished it off.
Dylan Mayberry checks into the game for the Mustangs. 2nd down and 11 and a half, about 12. Stripling taking his time. 7 seconds left to go on the play clock as Glenn trying to show blitz, and he's taking his time to read it. Stripling back to pass, quick pass to Nail. He's going to cut inside, and it's Callan Guyton to bring him down at the 37-yard line. So an 8-yard pickup is going to bring up 3rd down and about 4 for the Mustangs.
And that play has been money all night for Marble Falls. It's get that quick wide receiver screen, and it's good. And the key to that is good downfield blocking by the other receiver. These are very big, good blocking receivers for Marble Falls.
3rd down and 4, and they're going to move the ball. I guess there's a penalty on Glenn as they're going to move the ball forward. Here, there's way too many penalties happening in this game.
That
15-yard penalty.
That could have been a personal foul penalty going against the Glen Grizzlies.
So that penalty is going to move the ball all the way to the Grizzly 49-yard line. 6:40 and counting left to go in the 4th quarter. And the story of this game for Glenn has been the penalty. 6:30 and counting, 1st and 10 from the Grizzly 49-yard line. Stripling back to pass. He's rolling out. Last-minute ditch to Wilson. He's going to be pushed back into his own territory at his own 49-yard line. He's going to lose 3 on the play.
And another flag has come in on the back end of that play. So that screams personal foul to me. Peter Cervantes made a good play right there to try to limit that. And Marble Falls thinks that it is going to go against Glenn.
I don't know what's being called. It's a clean tackle.
And Lee Pollock is holding back. Looks like Brian Creel. And it will be on Brian Creel, and it looks like it's going 15 yards the other way for Glenn.
So 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties for this Grizzly team, 30 yards. $65 yards worth of penalties in this one. But they have to get their composure together. They cannot let Marble Falls get the best of them.
You see Brian Creel and Lee Pollock yelling to the rest of the team, and maybe yelling is too aggressive a word, but they're being very vocal in the way they're trying to approach this game because they know this game isn't over yet, but they know they need to get their emotions in check, and they need to figure out what it is that's causing it because there's 6:15 left in this game. One more of those, and it could ice the game.
Ball's at the 37-yard line in Grizzlies territory. Mustangs leading it 14-7. They have 1st and 10. Wilson with Stripling in the backfield. Again, Stripling taking his time, trying to milk this clock for all he can. Wilson takes up the middle. Derek Childs in on the tackle, and he's still pushing his way. They're going to get forward progress at about the 34-yard line, so a 3-yard gain on the play.
Again, some more pushing and shoving on the back end, on the bottom of the pile.
Guess they're trying to see if the ball is out.
15 yards. That's going against Derek Childs. It seemed like he was right in the referee's face. 45 yards worth of penalties when the defense needed to make its biggest stop of the season.
These umpires, these referees, they got to understand this is a big game. It's a one-possession game. They're fighting for the ball at the bottom of the pile. You can't continue to call penalties just to call them. You can't be bigger than the game if you're the umpires here. This is 45 yards. I mean, we've watched this Glenn defense all season long. This is not like them. This is not how they play. And, it seems like there's a really short fuse going on with these umpires.
And it seems like one of them is talking to the whole Glenn defense and letting them know what he sees, because that's the sign of a good referee right there, letting them know what they see so they can try to correct it. But these penalties are just making it so much harder because one touchdown will make it that much harder for the offense.
5:29 left to go in this one.
They're at the 19-yard line now. Barely any margin for error.
Clock continuing to run in this one, and Marble Falls doing a great job of clock management. They're not snapping the ball
until the very last second. They're trying to milk every second off this clock. White Cotton in motion. Snap, Stripling. Gives it. Offside to Wells. And he is met. And he's going to be out of bounds at the 16-yard line.
It looks like they're not going to say he got out of bounds because the clock continues to run. 4:49, 4:48. Clock is still moving, and barely any margin for error for the Glen defense. Ball's at the 16-yard line right now.
2nd and 7.
Would be about a 33-yard field goal right now for Barnes.
Glen needs a turnover. They need to strip the ball because it's running plays all day long. Again, 45 yards of penalty on this drive alone. 90 for the game. 2nd and 7 from the 16. Give is to Wilson. It's going to be Stripling this time. He's going to take it, and Alex Townsley brings him down at about the 14-yard line. So a 2-yard pickup. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5.
Big play coming up for the defense right here. You need a stop, and most likely they're going to look to go on the ground again to try to keep this clock going.
They went to the field goal already with Barnes, and it was no good, so you wonder if they go to him again. If he kicks it in, it kind of ices the game. 3:45 and counting. 3rd and 4 from the 13. Snap, give, Wilson pushing his way, trying to fight something, and they're going to give him the 11-yard line. It's going to come up short. It's going to be 4th down and 2 as the line judge actually gives him the 10-yard line. So it'll be 4th down and 1.
And it will be an official's timeout, so the clock will stop with 3:20. Referee called for the clock to stop, and the clock has continued to run. Scoreboard being ran by the Marble Falls Mustangs, so an extra 6 seconds dripped off the clock as soon as the official has called for it to be over, and it's a injury timeout on the bottom of the pile.
See if the referees are able to pick up where they left off and figure it out. Looks like it's Cooper Wilson down on the play. He's the injured Mustang down. 4th down and 1 upcoming. 3:18 left to go in this one.
4th down here. If they elect to kick the field goal, look for Noah Holmes. Noah Holmes is a guy that has prided himself on being able to contribute in that phase of the game when it comes to blocking field goals and blocking extra points. The only thing that he has to be conscious of is staying on sides for the full play, because you should jump off sides and then it's a 1st down, and this game is most likely over. Then they did reset the clock to 3:25.
Absolutely. So 7 seconds is put on there, and every second is going to matter as Cooper Wilson still down on the turf for Marble Falls. We got a couple trainers attending to him. Let's take a quick commercial break. You're listening to Grizzlies Football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
KMAX Sports is the largest online broadcast company in Central Texas. How large is that? Well, think of the Congress Avenue Bridge Bat Colony.
Okay, folks, here they come. They're flying out from under the bridge. They appear to be Louisville Sluggers, and they're falling. Oh, the humanity.
As God is my witness, I thought bats could fly. Bringing your teams to you since 2003 without dropping the ball or the bat. We are
Socialize with us.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, that dang old internet, man, you just go on there and point and click. It's real easy, man.
On Twitter, @KMAX Sports, or catch us on Facebook. Search KMAX Sports. Just another way KMAX Sports is bringing your teams to you.
This is the KMAX Sports Network.
All right, 3:25 left to go in the 4th quarter. 4th down and 1 coming up for the Marble Falls Mustangs as Cooper Wilson is being helped off of the field. He's been their big back for them. 10 carries for about 52 yards in this one. And that kind of eliminates one less person to get the ball. It might be Barker, could be Wells, or it could be Stripling. We've seen Stripling run for 2 scores himself, so we'll see what they draw up on this 4th down play. They have 1 timeout left, and you wonder if they're going to try to go with the hard count, or will they go to kick it? They're trying to figure out something because this is a long timeout they have here.
We'll also try to see what Coach Shanefield decides to do, because last time the defense sold out on the run. They made sure that that 1st down was not going to be picked up on the ground. Unfortunately, Stripling read that perfectly, was able to get the ball out quickly, got it out into the flat, and he picked up the first down.
Well, they got their muscle in there. They got White Cotton.
And an extra offensive lineman.
Yeah, got Mayberry, White Cotton, Wells is the back. It's Stripling. They're trying to get the quarterback sneaking. He does push the pile forward for a first down. They're going to give him the 9-yard line, or not yet.
Nothing being called yet. Marble Falls very confident that they picked it up.
And let's see where the actual spot is. You might have a measurement here.
First down.
And they call it a first down. Every inch matters. This is now first and goal for Marble Falls. Glenn has one timeout left. Remember, there's no 2-minute warning in high school, so it'll keep running. So first and goal from the 9. Stripling takes a snap, gives to Barker, who runs his way through, and he's in for an end zone for a touchdown. 20-7. Marble Falls leads it on I would call it an impressive drive, but 3 personal foul penalties back to back, and that pushed them half the length of the field, and that might do it for Glenn as they now trail it 20-7 with 3:01 left to go in this one.
It's your own mistakes that led to this right now. I mean, you 45 yards, giving up half the field on just. I understand you play the game. Tension is high at times. Can't allow yourself to do that. A line drive kick, and it's no good.
No good on the kick. Let's see if that comes back to bite them there. But problem is that this Glenn defense now, they just they're on their heels and giving up penalties. So even if they score quickly, they're gonna have to go for an onside kick because, I mean, the way Marble Falls is moving the ball and getting calls, I mean, you can't let them get back on the field. I mean, we saw how quick Glenn can score. An 84-yard touchdown to Jarvis Henderson, so they're not out of this game just yet, but they need to score quick, and they need another onside kick.
We'll try to see what Coach Shanefield dials up on the offensive side because you need a play to go in big chunks. You can't let this drive go for more than a minute and a half.
Yep. And then now with the missed extra point, 2 touchdowns, if Soto, who's been perfect pretty much all year except for the 1 block against Weiss.
He's been perfect on PATs.
Yeah. So here we go. 3:01 left to go as they'll be kicking from their own 40. And remember, the last kickoff was from the 15, from the 45, so there's been about 4 or 5 personal conduct penalties against Glenn. Line drive kick. It's Noah Holmes on the return, and he pushes his way. He gets all the way to about the 43-yard line. So Noah Holmes with the ball skills. Good field position for the Grizzlies. There's 2:57 left to go in this one.
And this is a defense that has given up points, but you have to think that that play to Anderson was an anomaly. And I say that because you're ahead by 2 touchdowns, and you let a receiver get behind you.
Yep. So Drew McGuire will take over, looking for another comeback miracle. Julian Morris in the backfield. 3 wide receivers to the left. Henderson out to the right on the near side. He's going to roll out to his left. He's looking for something. Throws on the run. Hits Sam Martin, who quickly gets out of bounds at the Mustang 45-yard line.
2:51 left to go. 3 seconds were taken off the clock on that last play. Good job by McGuire getting that ball out early, and good job by Martin knowing the situation, not trying to turn upfield, knowing to get out of bounds.
Ball is at the 45-yard line in Marble Falls territory. 4 wide receivers out for Glenn. Drew McGuire, snap. Back to pass, good protection. He's flushed out of the pocket. He's got nowhere to go. He's looking, he throws, can throw out of bounds. 2:44 left to go in this one.
Again, just good downfield coverage by the Mustang secondary. They've done it all night and haven't given Drew McGuire a good, clean look.
2nd down and 10. And it's Henderson and Nichols and Hatter out to the right. Martin out to the left. Actually, Henderson out to the right. McGuire back to pass. He's looking, fakes it, Rolling out at the 20, throws across the field. Jarvis Henderson can't come up with it. Drew McGuire had a lot of field to kind of take off and run, but there's a flag on the play, most likely holding.
And it is a hold going against the offense.
Penalties, you can't have it, and they're going to move them back as they were asking Coach Birdwell if he wanted to accept the penalty or take the loss of downs, and they're going to move Glenn back.
And no, they say there's no silver lining in sports, but that's a message from Coach Birdwell that he respects the ability that this team can put up points in a hurry. But 2:36 left. Looks like the clock's about to strike midnight.
Another penalty for Glenn. McGuire back to pass. Got pressure. He's got to step up. Throws down the field. And it's intercepted. Intercepted by number 13 on the defense. Lance Law coming up with the interception. And that'll do it pretty much for Glenn in this one. As he's forced to throw, and Lance Long comes up with the big interception, and the Mustangs will take over with 2:29 in the fourth quarter. They lead it 20-7.
Now, what I'm wondering there is that a great play by Long, not taking it away from him, but takes his helmet off, starts running around the field, starts making a bunch of hand motions, and Creel gets flagged for asking a question to the official.
Absolutely.
Never question the officials. The officials are not the reason why Glenn is down right now, but just something that I noticed on the back end of that play. 2:29 left to go in the fourth quarter.
The Mustangs can kind of run out the clock here as Glenn looks like their winning streak is going to be snapped at 5. And the give is to Barker, who's going to run across the field, run it down at midfield, brought down by Noah Holmes at the 49-yard line. So a 15-yard pickup and a first down for Marble Falls, 2:20 and counting. And just a flat effort by this offense. They couldn't get anything going. A lot of penalties, over 100 yards and penalties.
You can't give a team a full football field extra that they didn't earn. But got to give credit where credit's due. Yeah. This team is much better than we previously saw. You see 0-4 in district, and you think that this is going to be a cakewalk for this team. This team played amazing tonight for Marble Falls. The defense holding the Grizzlies to 7 points on a 84-yard pass. And see the play right here.
It was to Barker. He's fighting his way. He's cutting inside the 40-yard line down to the 37. So a 12-yard pickup for Gabe Barker. And the Mustangs are trying to put an exclamation point on this game. They're not running out the clock. They're trying to score again. Again, this will be a very impressive win.
Marble Falls.
Playoff spot yet for Glenn. They got to get back to the drawing board. They got a tough Brenham team, and they end the season against an even tougher defense in Bastrop.
And Bastrop is currently up on Brenham 20-17.
Again, the first thing we'll talk to Coach Shanefield this week is penalties. You can't have 120, 130 yards in penalties in this one, and you got to get going on offense. They just couldn't get anything going. And they will kneel it down. The Stripling will kneel it with a minute to go. So it looks like the way the clock is set up, we'll have one more kneel at about 20 seconds. And the Marble Falls Mustangs will win their first district game of the season. They'll go to 1-4 in the district. Glenn will drop to 4-1. With Brenham coming to Bible Stadium next Friday, November 2nd. Alex Payne and E.J. Sanchez will be with you on the pregame show.
30 minutes before kickoff.
And Glenn has not lost a game, E.J. Sanchez, since September 7th. So, it's tough. You're the team of the week by FanStan. You're the team of the week by the Statesman. And, it's tough. It's tough to not look at that and take it seriously. But they had to get some work done this week. And I'm sure they're going to have a lot of work to do. They're going to look at a lot of film, see what exactly went wrong. But like you said, EJ, all the credit and all the respect to the world, to Marble Falls. They come up with a very impressive victory. They knock off a team that came in winning 5 in a row, averaging about 34 points in those victories. And they shut Glenn down, limiting them to just 7 points on a big play by Jarvis Henderson. But other than that, they couldn't get anything going. Julian Morris runs for 100 yards in this one. And that was pretty much it.
Nothing got going for the offense. Now on the defensive side of the ball, you did all 20 points. You're not going to hang your head about that. The only reason you're going to hang your head is you pitched at 20 points, came out with a loss.
Yeah.
So the defense still has a lot to be proud of. The offense has a lot of work to do coming up into this next week because they know this is a team that they feel they should have beat.
Yeah. And give them credit again. They came in 0-4. You look at Big Bad Glenn coming in 4-0, and you know what? You gotta still show up. You still gotta execute. You gotta play. And Coach Shanefield will be the first to tell you they didn't do that today. They didn't execute. They didn't get things done, and too many penalties. False starts early on in drives, holding penalties. They negated Jarvis Henderson kickoff return touchdown because of a holding penalty. The 3 personal fouls on one drive. They had a personal foul after an extra point because that's how Marble Falls was able to kick off from the 45-yard line and pin them back. Even though they scored on the 84-yard touchdown, these things you can't happen. Sam Martin taking the ball out from the end zone. A lot of, as he even said a couple weeks ago, a lot of silly mistakes from this team. So they got to get it together. They still have a chance to right the ship and get back on track. They got a big game against Brenham, who's here tonight. They're scouting out. They're trying to figure it out. And you know what? They might be telling their players, hey, get a little chippy with them. They'll lose their temper, and let's continue to add 15 yards on it. So, Glenn's got a lot of work to do this week. They'll get back to work tomorrow in film session. They'll be back to work on Monday. But big game coming up on Friday against Brenham.
Yeah, we hope that it'll be another home game. It'll be the last home game of the season before they travel to Bastrop for the regular season finale. So we hope to see a lot of you there. And if you can't, we'll be right here on the Dreamfinder Home pregame show. That will be starting at 7 o'clock. We will be here. We'll be there with Coach Shanefield. We'll have a couple interviews from the players. A good show on tap for you next week. Weren't able to come out with a win tonight. They drop it 20-7.
With the loss, Glenn drops their record to 4-3, 4-1 in the district. Depending on what happens, you said Brenham is up now.
Brenham is Bastrop is up 20-17.
Okay. So again, Glenn, they got to win out and control their own destiny. And this loss kind of brings them back down and brings them back down to earth. And you know what? Now they could be possibly looking at them. They don't come up with these 2 victories. They might be on the outside looking in after such a tremendous start. So they got to come up with a must-win situation on Friday. Worry about Bastrop. Worry about the playoffs later. And it'll be very interesting to see what Coach Shanefield is talking to his team right now, what he says this week, and as we get ready for
This is the KMAX Sports Network.